Hello everybody, and welcome back to Tales on Tap. We hope that you're having a wonderful day, wonderful week so far, and thank you so much for joining us again for the latest episode of Aerilon, A Destined Journey. We are going to jump to the players in just a moment, but before we do, we just have something that we want to obviously say. For any of you that may have seen last week's episode and was tuned into us during our live session over on Twitch, towards the back end of that session, there was an incident that happened where and I will take full responsibility for this, I pulled an NPC out of my imagination box, and that NPC wasn't fully formed, and there was a depiction of an individual who, through many faults of my own, made a bit of a hash of it. I portrayed them in a way that I definitely should not have done. Through extensive analysing of that moment after the session, there is a heartfelt apology for anyone that may have taken that as offensive. Here at Tales on Tap, we embody inclusivity. We have got proud sponsors who are all about inclusivity, and we very much love all people of all walks of life. It doesn't matter where you're from, what you look like, what you sound like, it doesn't matter. You are loved entirely for every little bit of who you are as a person. We take these mistakes as they come, we own them, and we learn from them, and we move forward in a positive way. I take full responsibility for what happened, but we move on. For anyone there that was affected by last week's session, please know that we have edited that session down to completely remove that from all public image. The video that was uploaded to YouTube over the weekend will have none of that content included. It was completely removed. But yes, wholeheartedly apologise. Thank you very much. So, as I said, we are joined by our lovely players, all but one, as Evan is in New York. He has gone on holiday, so we're not joined by Evan this week or next week. So Pim is going on a little holiday of his own. If you caught last week, you'll know all about that. So before we get into tonight's session, there are a few announcements that we need to get through. As always, if you could make sure that you're connected to all of our social media, on any updates and all updates that we have about the stream, about things upcoming. We always make sure we post them on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the social media places. If you haven't already, then we also have a Discord channel for our community. Make sure you join that. We've been a little bit shit with that recently, but there's
things on there.
There are definitely things on there though. But look,
TikTok has died a death with our channel. I will do better.
But we'll figure that out. But make sure you get down in the dungeon, get all the links for the social media stuff. It is down there. Han, do you want to tell us about one of our lovely sponsors?
Yeah, of course. As for all of campaign 2 so far and going on into the future, we are sponsored by Awfully Queer Heroes, two incredible individuals who provide modules, subclasses, spells, NPCs, maps, all the like, to enhance your TTRPG play experience. At the moment, I've been harping on a while about Tale of Two Queens, the level 16 to 20 module that is now being available to be backed on Kickstarter, where there is new rules for naval combat, which, sorry Wizards of the Coast, we know is needed. Pirate subclasses, all the like no AI art used. They always seek out artists to create the art and the material they use for their modules and their adventures. So be sure to head over to their Kickstarter to back that, go get your support there. Also, if you're interested in any of the other modules, they've got full suite from levels 1 through to 20. Head over to either their Drive-Thru RPG page or their Patreon links, which are down in the dungeon below. And once again, we love you. Thank you guys for sponsoring us.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Natalie, do you want to tell us about one of our other sponsors?
Of course, our other long-term sponsor is Valkyrie-RPG. They are beautiful people that make dice, terrain, lovely t-shirts. I know a couple of us have them. No one's been wearing them right now, but they are absolutely chef's kiss. So yeah, go check them out. I'm not too sure. I don't think they have anything running like special this week, but they have all their usual goodies. All their links are down in the dungeon. But if you want 10% off, don't forget to put Tales10 at checkout to get that 10% off everything on store except for subscription boxes. Couldn't get the word out of my mouth. There we go.
Nice.
So yes, all the links are down in the dungeon. Definitely check them out.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Chris, what lies ahead for Tales on Tap? Could you, you got any idea?
Lots of things lie ahead. In the immediate future, you can catch this episode anywhere you listen to podcasts, such as Spotify and the like. The first half of this week's episode will go up on Thursday. The second half will go up on Sunday. If you are listening to this on any of those platforms, do give us a 5-star rating on there. It helps visibility. And you can also find this episode on YouTube in the coming weeks. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe, please like the video. It gives us lots of help with algorithms and such. We will be returning to Aerilon, A Damned Voyage at some point in the future. If you caught the first 2 parts of that, very exciting skyship piratey themed multiple shot ongoing little sub game.
Stop calling it a one shot.
Yeah. That we collaborate with a bunch of other people in the tabletop RPG streaming and podcasting community. You can find the previous episodes on YouTube. Go watch them. The 3rd part will be coming soon. We will be attending UK Games Expo in the coming months. If you'll be attending UK Games Expo, keep an eye out for us. We're going to be doing a meet and greet down at the Valkyrie RPG booth at some point. Details to be confirmed. A lot of that stuff can be found on our social medias, on our Discord, those kind of things. We're going to be coming out with a couple of YouTube videos soon. One of them on the materials produced by one of our sponsors, Awfully Queer Heroes, A Tale of Two Queens. We're going to be going through a bit of that, giving our opinions, maybe showing you guys a little bit of gameplay on that. And then we're also going to be doing, what's it called again? Daggerheart, which I'm sure you've all heard lots about, and I'm sure you're all wondering how it differs from D&D, what kind of characters you can create. We're going to be doing a little bit of a character creator video on that soon, so keep an eye on our YouTube for that. In the much more distant future, we do have an interim campaign coming for you when Dan goes off and gets married and has a child and his life becomes a nightmare for 6 months or so, 6 months to 18 years, something like that. Somewhere within that period, I am going to be taking the DM seat and running a brand new, we're calling it campaign 2.5 at the moment. We do have a more official name for it, but more will be announced on that as we draw closer to the time. But please be excited. It will be fun. We're all very excited. The themes around this campaign are going to be something a little bit different to what you've experienced here so far on Tales on Tap, and we think you're going to like it.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that, Chris. Ruth, I don't need that sort of negativity in the chat. Putting comments in to say that the first 18 years are the worst. That is
gets a lot easier after that.
What are you doing, man? Like, hold on, 2 seconds. Just bear with me a second while I have a chat with Ruth. What are you doing? What are you doing, man? Like, who comes into a Twitch stream and throws shade like that towards somebody? I mean, exactly, man. Like, I feel like you come in my house on Christmas Day and shit on my kids. What are you doing? Like,
leave Ruth alone. We love Ruth.
Yeah, we love Ruth here.
That's strike 2, Ruth. You know what strike 1 was for. Fucking strike 2, man. What are you doing? Time to kill her character. Oh, no. I'm going to let everyone else kill her character while she watches. I think that pretty much sums up all the announcements this evening. Just before we get into tonight's session, I'd like everybody, apart from Natalie, to roll me a d20, please, so we know who's doing a recap next week.
Oh, should have given me disadvantage.
We're going to give you disadvantage on your next roll, Chris. Don't you worry about it.
No, I know. I've got that one back.
I don't even remember what this was for.
My phone went off during last session.
Oh, yeah, it did.
Twice. I got an 18.
An 18? Cool.
10.
Wow. Oh, okay.
Oh, so Dan, if you could take some notation for us this evening, because you're going to doing a recap next week. Excellent. Guys, should we play some D&D?
Let's go.
Go on then.
Let's do that. Fantastic. If you haven't already, get yourselves comfortable, apart from you, Ruth. I hope that you stood up this entire time. Go get yourselves a drink. Ruth, I hope yours is vinegar. And sit back and relax as we, apart from you, Ruth, who I hope stands on Lego, as we dive into tonight's episode of Tales on Tap. Bye, Ruth.
We love you, Ruth.
Love you, Ruth.
Love you, Ruth.
Not too sure how to start this. Last night was hard. The beast inside me tried its best to claw tooth and nail to get out. I found myself in a box. Sorry, cupboard. There I remembered the song my mum used to sing to me as a cub. After going upstairs, I more passed out than slept. But man, did I need it. I'm still feeling foggy. But we had things to do. As we had breakfast, Kiri apologized for trying to calm me last night by putting their voice in my head. There was no way that they could know that the pain it could cause. Virgil was on the ball though, with a plan to find a cure for me and Pim. He wants to go to the library and then to a magic shop. This is when the Raven contacted Kiri to say that he has Pim. Thank all the gods he wasn't hurt. I don't know what I would have done if he had been. Virgil also gave me his fancy cloak, so that's something. Edivir wanted my help getting info from the bakery. And then possibly check on Alden, as that could be a dead lead, but I didn't want to give up on it just in case. That's when a little old lady knocked on the door that Kiri seemed to recognize. She also seemed to be with the drunk dwarf that Bark found. But it was just Pim and the Raven in disguise. The Raven tells us about some druids he knows in the city that he wants to take Pim to. Soon. Sorry, my notes are really faint. I have to get close eyes. I swear I can read. With that, me and Eddie leave, but not before he rigs a bomb. Okay. I think I heard Kiri say that they and Pim were going to try busking, but I can't be sure. On the way to the bakery, me and Ed have a little bit of a heart-to-heart. He asks me of home and tells me of his. Moonshade, I think it was called. I promised to show him my skills building a snowman. He then tells me the plan. And let's just say it's a doozy. He plans to place the bomb the other side of the wall on a timer for leverage. That can't possibly go wrong. We come up with a code word to GTFO. Smorgasbord. Still don't know what that means. We enter to find a very talkative man called Bruno. I'm joking. He doesn't say a single word. After a bit of back and forth and giving up our weapons, we go down the basement to meet Bernard? Bernhand? Something like that. And a guy in a cowboy hat. I don't actually know if he gave his name. Eddie is taking his time, and it's making me nervous. I hope that he set a long timer. But he gets to the point eventually. Who set me up or I'll blow you up is kind of the point.
Pretty much, yeah.
Tick-tock, little mouse. He agrees. And Eddie goes to disarm the bomb. Burnhand, the guy, makes me an offer. 10,000 gold and a ticket to home. Home. Fuck. All I have to do is kill him. I don't really know him. I only just met him. I could see Nebulon again. But what kind of person would that make me? No. Fuck this rat. He's my friend. Eventually he told us who set him up. And it sounds like that prick Melgraves, the boy, the butler. He pays Eddie for his last job. When we get outside, turns out to be the shackles. Asshole. But at least that's done. And that's all she knows.
That's all. Bro.
Fantastic. In other news, Virgil heads out into the middle city of Windmere. His destination, the Windmere Library, where he meets a wonderful little old lady who issues him with his library card, gives him the rundown of all the rules and regulations for the library. And Virgil spends the majority of the day perusing many books on lycanthropy and the effects of curses and things like that. Beyond that, after gaining as much information as he could given the day that he'd had within the library, he then sets back out into the middle city and heads over to the Mystic Emporium. He then proceeds to buy a number of different items, including high quality ink and some parchment, and then begins to head home. Now onto our favourite party members of last session, besides the bomb, another bomb!
Yeah!
Monday, happy days! Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days!
So good. Kyria and Pim decide that today is a day for not only rest and relaxation, but a trip to the market.
Yeah.
As they head out into the market to try and find some flux leads, but essentially they just want to do some shopping.
Yeah.
So they go to a hat stall. They go to visit Jim Bob at his hat store and buy a hat for Pim, and then Kyria and Pim decide to set up in the middle of the marketplace and busk for the rest of the afternoon. A crowd gathers as Kyria and this unknown minstrel just start riffing off each other and, you know, having a beautiful duet where they both make a fair bit of money, and the individual then proceeds to tell Kyria that she's extremely talented and that she should do this for more money.
Archibald.
And yeah, Archibald then hands her the money that they just both made and sets off into the distance. Kyria and Pim head round the market for the rest of the afternoon with their hard-earned monies and buy many, many things.
Yes.
Many things. Most importantly, kitchen hand towels.
Yeah. Can't forget them.
Stuff like that.
A ream of standard parchment. I've got written down.
Yeah, exactly.
And new wood carving chisel.
Yeah,
that was important.
You did get a new chisel, and you also overheard, or Pim overheard at the time, an ongoing conversation between two locals about a guy out of the city called Greybeard who seemingly is trying to fix up a ship. Anyway, beyond that, Pim and Kyria, they both head off across the middle city back towards the home. And that is where we're going to pick up tonight's session. Liana and Edivir heading down into the lower city towards Alden's place, with Kyria, Pim and Virgil heading towards home.
Yeah.
So, will the group encounter more sleazy hat salesmen, or will they die a horrible death? Find out in about 5 minutes.
I really hope Edivir encounters that dude.
So, where we pick up this evening. Liana and Edivir, you are slowly trudging your way through the city of Windmere in a southeast direction towards Alden's place. You both are adequately satisfied with what's just happened at Bear Hunt's Bakery, Briskeline's Bakery, and are now heading south together. What do you guys want to do?
Well, I wish I could say that was a revelation, but pretty much just confirms my suspicions.
It's not exactly a surprise. We kind of had suspicions about Malgrave anyway.
Well, I mean, it confirms my suspicion that he might have put in place the situations that got us all locked up in the first place, but it doesn't exactly directly connect him to Flux.
No, not, actually, I don't think it connects him to Flux at all. I think...
Well, I mean, it depends. In my view, it depends what... I told you that on the night that I was arrested, I was sent to blow up a target, but I never made it there. There was an explosion before I was able to plant the bomb.
Yes.
And I still don't know what actually exploded. If we can find out what building or what people were attacked that night, that might give us some indication, because Malgrave's clearly involved in that, and if that's involved with whatever's going on with Flux or whatever power play he's hoping to make, that might connect the dots.
Maybe we can make some questions about...
Yeah,
we know what night it took place, and there was an explosion, so, I mean, if one of us didn't look like one of us, we could probably ask some sort of official, about...
That's a good idea. Or, I mean, there might be a story about it in the newsletters or papers, something
Possibly.
like that, in the last few days.
I didn't see anything about the explosion when the last newspaper I'm going to say read, looked at.
You were taking the headlines at that time, I think.
Yeah. And that was a while ago now. So maybe we can pick up a newspaper on the way.
I'm sure there's some old shut-in who keeps all their newspapers in piles in their living room or something like that we can break in. Or ask, whichever's easier.
You have weird thoughts.
To some, maybe. When we get to Alden's, do we just case the place, or do we take a look inside, see if he's already moved on?
I don't think just standing outside watching it is going to do us any benefit, because if he's already moved on, then we're not going to see anything, so we could be there all day and not learn anything. So I think trying to gather information whether he is inside, whether Flux is inside, could probably be more beneficial for us. Because if he's gone and if the Flux is gone, then
we know it's
no
too
point.
late.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, it might be risky. The last time we turned up there, it was flooded with SBC, but
Well, if the SBC were there because of him, either guarding the place or getting ready to raid it, then if they're not there anymore, then that risk is probably eliminated.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how we're going to get inside. I mean, we could just break in. I mean, I could easily enough.
As this conversation continues, you are roughly around 5 to 10 minutes away from Alden's place in the lower city at this point.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, yeah, we could do that. We could just make a rush on it, see what's going on, and then get the hell out. Or I mean,
the worst case scenario, he's there, and the flux is still there. We break in. We kind of need to come up with...
We'll just check in and then leave.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah.
Why don't I see if I can get at least an eye in the place to see if anything's changed? And then maybe you ask some of the local people to see if they've noticed anyone moving any large shipments out of the building or out of the area recently. That might be another indication. Asking the locals can't hurt, I guess. It's something we didn't have time to do last time.
Yeah, I also just don't want our faces connected with him though. So
no, you're right.
People know we're looking for him. I would rather not ask other people about it. We'll see what the situation is when we get there.
As you guys get
hang on 2 seconds. Well, I'll tell you what. Take this. I'll give Leanna 10 gold, and I'll say, beggars, they usually don't get too involved with reporting things to the local constabulary, so that might be an option.
Okay.
I'll just give her 10 gold to facilitate that, because I think she gave all her money away last session.
Okay.
You may proceed, Dan.
Thanks, mate.
Wanted to give you time, you know.
No, maybe I don't want to.
Okay, cool. Then in that case,
as you guys start getting closer and closer, you are in the same neighborhood as Alden's place. The streets become quieter. There aren't as many folk walking around. Especially the closer you get, there isn't as many people out on the streets walking in and around this area.
Okay.
As you begin to get closer to the point where I nearly called it Artan's place, but it's not Artan. Alden's.
Oh my god, that's a name I haven't heard.
I know. Alden's place. One of you make me a perception check. I don't care who. Just one of you.
I'll do it.
Well, I'm going to go see what's beeping in my kitchen, so you do that.
It'll be the pizza he put in 3 hours ago.
It's the tick. It's the answer to the ticking.
Yeah.
17.
17. Liana, you spot around 100 to 150 feet away from you, in the courtyard outside the front of Alden's place, there is what appear to be, from at first glance, at least 6 members of the SBC.
Ooh.
Oh, hold my hand up. Stop. Edivir moving forward.
I'll push us both into an alleyway.
Yeah.
Okay. You do so?
Looking at them, are they situated outside it, looking out, like trying to see if people are coming by, or are they looking in?
I'll tell you what they're doing, Liana.
Thank you.
What they're doing is you see that there are 3 currently on guard, stopping, like, almost creating a perimeter around this place. You see 2 others stood outside the entrance of Alden's place in front of a mound with a white creamish tarp or cloth that has been pulled over something. Do you want to guess what it is?
I think we know.
I think they might have found the flux. Did they seem to be shipping it?
And the dead bodies.
Yeah, more likely they'd found the SBC agent that you killed.
Yeah, I forgot. The mound of... I mean, most of them were knocked out, though. Like, only
most
2
of them
dead.
Most of them, yeah, but one of them wasn't. I think we need to get as far away from here as possible. we can pretty much guarantee that that is now a dead lead. If those SPC were working for the flux producers to keep guard of the place, we could be pretty sure the ones who are there now aren't. They're probably there looking for who killed their man or who they thought was their man.
That's fine. I'm satisfied that we have exhausted all our efforts here. So,
He must have moved last night.
or not, and it's still in there. But there's no way for us to find out either way. So,
You're right. It's too much of a risk. Last time we went in there, the only way in and out was the front door, so I don't feel confident sneaking in.
and I don't want to take on this many SBC, just me and you.
I mean,
I could, but I don't want to
Yeah.
kill more people.
cool. Yeah, no. That's what I thought you meant, because we definitely could, but...
Obviously. You've got a bomb in your pocket.
Oh, yeah, I've still got that. Actually, no, don't encourage me. That's a bad idea.
I won't, sorry. I'll shoot him a wink.
No, really, trust me. You don't want to encourage me. All right, then. Well, suppose that's that done. Why don't we head back? And on the way, if we can find a newspaper stand or something like that, we can ask if they've got conditions from the last few
Maybe a
months.
washing line with some small clothing on it.
Good point. Yeah, I forgot about that. He can't still be walking around in his drawers, can he? It's been all
Oh,
day
no,
now.
I kind of presume he's put one of our tops on, but none of our trousers are going to fit that boy. Let's face it. And I don't want to see him, walking around pantless, to be fair.
Well, he is in touch with nature, but everyone has a line. All right, let's head back.
Yeah.
Okay. So Leanna and Edivir, you start heading off back northwest into the middle city and toward the property.
Keeping
I'm
an
gonna
eye on
keep
the tiny
out.
pairs of trousers.
Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on gardens with washing lines to see if there's any kids' trousers.
Sure. Make me a perception check.
Okay.
As if you're going to steal clothes from children within houses from the lower or middle city.
Well, no. Once we get out to the middle city,
Yeah. It goes into the lower city, so their only pair of clothes.
Yeah. If Leanna tries to steal any from the lower city, I would. That's great.
Just see the kid naked in the window, no.
The 16th.
No problem. So, as you're walking back through the middle city, unfortunately, you don't find any gardens with children's clothes on, washing lines, unfortunately. But something you do notice, Leanna, is as you're walking up one of the main thoroughfares north towards your property, you see that on the left-hand side of the road, there is this rather large cart at the side of the road, and it seems to be full of bits of lumber. There's a few crates on there. There's a tarp that's been pulled over, but it's kind of come loose at the back, and you see that there is an older gentleman towards the back of this cart, and a box is tipped off, broken, and shattered what appear to be nails. Nails have just gone woof and have scattered out on the... No, hammer and nails.
Sorry.
Human fingernails.
Yeah.
No. Get him,
dude.
Yeah, he has his own manicure parlor. He's just really lost track of his stock.
No. Iron nails scattered on the floor, and you see this older gentleman on his hands and knees just picking these nails up, and seems to be talking to himself, grumbling and such.
I will tell Edward just to wait back a minute, and I will go and help him pick up the nails. I'm just. Do you need help, sir?
That's very kind of you. That's very kind of you. Thank you.
Of course.
My bloody eyes, I've been picking up the same twig for the last 5 minutes, and throws the twig down and picks a nail up, and it's putting them back, and you see that this box has been uprighted, and he's just kind of dropping them in. He's that's very kind.
Picking up nails and putting them in the same box. Sorry. Lost my train of thought.
Yeah, but can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
I've been waiting for you to say the words old man. Does this look like anything like the dude who ran away when we escaped?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
No, it
I've been waiting for
doesn't.
the words old man. For
Very, yeah, very good though. Very good callback. But no, you do not.
Okay, fine. That is all.
Is this what you do? Is this what you do for a job?
What? Drop nails everywhere and pick them up? No, no.
I was thinking more
No.
transport stuff.
Oh no! This is all mine. This is just my stuff.
Do you
yeah.
have? I mean, not to go all NPC on you, but do you have any wares that we can check out?
Oh no, sorry. None of this is for sale. No, I've just come and purchased this. This is stuff that I'm taking out of the city. I've got quite a bit of work to do. You see, so.
Oh, interesting. Work doing what?
Oh, just a little, just a project that I'm kind of working on. Yeah.
I mean, I have some friends that could always do with a job. If you need extra hands.
I'm sorry. I just, you see, my pension comes in once every 2 weeks, and then I have to, attribute that to my over. I haven't really got the funds behind me.
No, that's fair. I mean,
I'd be more than happy for the help. Sure. More hands mean less work, right? And I am getting old in the knees and the back, and I'm just getting on. I've seen.
Edivir has kind of snuck up to the side while they're having the conversation. He is attempting to peer under the sheet to see.
That's what I was trying to do.
Okay, sure.
To distract him.
That's cool. Make me a perception check. You can have advantage because he's not genuinely looking in your direction. He's kind of engaged in the conversation with Leanna.
Okay, it's not amazing. It's a 10 plus, I think, 3. Hang on. Perception. Yes, 13.
13. So looking under the tarp, you see that there are various lengths of, of lumber and timber. Lots of it are cut down into planks. There's one huge beam, wooden beam, that's kind of propped right at the bottom that sticks out a good 5-10 feet from the back of the cart.
In my experience, both as a carpenter's apprentice and a ship's carpenter, does this appear? Is this ringing any bells? What this collection of stuff might be being used to construct?
It would become very apparent to you in your particular experience before that this is definitely something that you could use all of this to essentially mend a ship. You could use it to build a wooden property, fix a barn or something like that. But it gives you the impression that there is quite a lot. This cart is kind of quite full. And the gentleman turns to you, Leanna, and goes, look, if you really want to help, then sure, I'd be more than happy for the help.
It's too thin for a mainmast.
Yeah. He turns and he goes, a main one, sure. Not a front one, or the other two that are on there.
Must be quite a ship.
Oh, she is. She's taken a few hits though along the way, but she just needs the wind in her sails again.
You have a
damn good carpenter.
Well, she has at least one of those things. Sorry, what did you say?
You have a ship?
Aye.
Then maybe if we help you, maybe instead of paying us, maybe possibly owing us a ride or something?
It's going to take some work to get her airborne again, but...
I mean, eventually.
I suppose when we do that, when I do, that could be something I could do. I've lived on Skyhaven all my life. I grew up here, just outside of Missong village, to the west of here.
Sounds lovely.
Yeah, it's nice. Bit too close to.
Sorry, I didn't introduce my name. Sophia. And she reaches her paw out to shake it.
Pleased to meet you, Sophia.
Dag's walking down from the middle of the cart to the back where they are, just picking up bits, looking at them, throwing them back in the cart. And then when he gets to the gentleman, he just reaches out and says, Dag.
Oh. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name's Theodore, but most people call me Greybeard.
A question for the DM: does he have a grey beard?
Yes.
Very good question. Very important question.
And it's a long and luscious grey beard.
I can see why it would be your namesake.
Well, yeah, but look, people in this city think I'm crazy. If you ever do fancy coming and helping some days, then
I love to help. Where would we find you if we?
So, from Winmere, there is a passage that leads north of the Stonehearth Refuge Mountains. It's not very well known, but it borders the Elder Tree Grove and the Stonehearth Mountain range there. It's a less travelled path. Usually goat herders and simple folk use it when trying to travel from Mistsong to Winmere. But if you head down there, then there's a huge valley there, and within that valley is the ship.
Oh, that's amazing. As I said, I do have a couple of other friends that I mean, they might have stuff on, so I need to consult them.
Yeah, of course.
Eddie, you got Dag, fuck. You got all those directions right? Because I'm not going to remember those.
Sorry, they were. I used to work on ships. You should look into copper plating on the bottom Harlem deck. Won't stop a cannonball, but some of the flying nasties up there won't be able to get through. It's a good investment. Save you money in the long run.
Well, I'll bear that in mind. Thank you. That's wise words.
As my friend Sophia here said, we may be looking for passage out of the city in the coming weeks. So our expertise and, for what it's worth, our protection in the skies, we have some capable allies. And some of us know our way around these things. Where can we find you?
Well, like I said, if you travel the path between here and Mistsong Village, north of the Stonehearth Refuge Mountains, then you'll find me. Can't be hard to miss. It's one of the deepest valleys in the area, and well, in the region. I used to play there as a young boy. Whenever I used to run away from home those days, just to feel the grass beneath my feet and get up to mischief. You know,
it must have been very nice for you.
It was a peaceful upbringing, but moved to the city in my 30s, and well, I don't know. The place has a bit of a aura about it. Doesn't matter how many times you bathe, there's just something on your skin type deal, like this oily substance that you just can't get rid of. You know? I'm much more suited to the open skies and the... Yeah.
Well,
I finished picking up all the nails for him. Put them on the bottom and hand him the box. Lift it up.
Oh, as you lift it up and go to hand it, he's like, do you mind? My back.
Of course. Of course.
Not what it used to be.
I put it on the cart. Well, it was really nice meeting you, and I'm pretty sure we'll see each other again.
Thank you. Thank you for your help. I really appreciate that.
Take care, Greybeard.
Oh well. And he just kind of meanders to the front of his cart, climbs aboard.
Don't forget those copper plates. 1/2 inch thick should do it.
And he sets off and kind of waves behind. As you guys continue...
Have you built ships before?
No, I've been on them though. I've fixed them.
Ah.
That's how I got around. I usually have to leave places soon after I've arrived and, achieved
what
I came to achieve, or
boom. Yeah.
Sometimes not quite achieving it and having to leave abruptly. Ships, they always need carpenters. Most of them are made of wood. My father was a carpenter.
Oh.
It's an easy skill to pick up.
You both.
I
Hard to
know.
master.
I tend to break things, not fix them, but I'm sure I could. I can swing a hammer, so I mean,
Can't fix anything unless someone breaks it first place.
I don't think that quite applies when you're hired to fix things, but okay.
Some things need to be broken in order to put them back together better.
Indeed.
Like this fucking city. Now, let's figure out what's going on. Get back to the others.
And you continue your journey north. In the meantime, Virgil, you're first to arrive back to the house.
With no key.
And you legitimately walk to the front door, go to open it, and it does not. And you spend the next 45 minutes stood outside the front door of this property, impatiently tapping your foot, wondering where the blasted hells is everyone else, until a very chipper pair walk round the corner and almost in a skip-like fashion...
Joe! And I go and I give him a massive hug.
You see Pim has, like, done that thing that he's obviously seen his father do with the shopping bags from
One
the
truck,
market.
yeah.
Like, he's literally just walking, like T-posing as he walks down with, like, multiple bags of stuff.
My
Kiri's
partner
just
gets
got,
so
like...
annoyed with me for doing that.
What?
I'm normally the one looking at everything, and they're just like, stop it.
One trip is enough.
As the hug sort of goes around his waist, the annoyance he was feeling by having not realised he had a key quickly sort of melts away, and he sort of places an arm around Kiri and just brings them in a bit. Sorry, and well, you both look like you had a good time, or at least a fruitful one.
Oh yeah, we got fruit.
Yep, and we also bought other things. Like I got a hat, and there's chains
I don't
in my bag.
want a hat.
Sorry. We got lots of things for the house.
Yes. We got some paints, we got some standard parchment, so I don't have to take your parchment. We got some just basic quills. We got kitchen supplies, cleaning supplies. I got a new chisel.
Quick question: Do you have the key?
And Pim just immediately looks towards you, Kiri, and goes, "Yeah, the key. You remember?"
Yes. yes. Seems to take about 10 minutes searching through all their belongings and finds the key eventually at the bottom of something. The first thing they checked.
Yep. And just pull the key out. There you go.
Got it.
Then how about we step inside and have conversations in the warm?
Okay.
Excellent.
You're unlocking. All three of you enter the property. Pim immediately walks into the kitchen and starts unpacking all half the stuff that you got.
Kyria, with the few things that they had, walks them into the kitchen, places them down, and then finds the ashtray, like the wooden ashtray type of thing that they picked up for Eddie, and just goes and sits on the lounge and grabs the new chisel. And can I attempt to carve something into this?
Sure. Do you have? Oh. Sure, you can, yeah.
Again, I'm proficient in bone carving, and Eddie has given me a single lesson in wood carving.
Oh, well, you're right. You're practically a professional.
Exactly.
Go ahead and... There's going to be no proficiency bonus added, but you can roll me a dexterity check.
Okay. Oh, 17. Ooh.
Okay. What is it you're chiseling? Or do you want to keep that a secret for now?
I'm going to keep it a secret for now.
That's cool. Whatever it is that you're trying to do... working within the confines of how much wood this thing has, you are able to carve exactly what you want to.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Having seen Pim just trying to work his way around the kitchen, Virgil would have put down his book, realised Kyria was doing their own thing over there, and sort of gone, that tracks. Put his things down, started helping Pim reach the higher shelves, putting things back where they should go, and organising things very nicely and neatly. And
just as a note for Virgil, Pim is currently dressed as a mini Kyria.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Suspenders.
I suppose at some point while walking around each other, he was just looks down and has gone, Well, that's fabulous. And then just carry about his day because he sort of knows what's going on. Bringing a few things into the lounge, like whatever I imagine small cactus you would have found inside some sort of like ornamental pot that is either going to grow or die soon, one of the two. Like, you know, just bits and bobs to the front room or sort of walk around. Kieran is like, what are you doing? Sorry, sweets. Just so I'm, you know, as we're putting away the shopping, what's going on here?
Making something?
Well, that was fast. You made that entire thing while you were sat down.
Oh, no. I got the thing. I'm carving something, sorry. But making the present.
Oh, I see. Is that an ashtray?
Yes.
It's depressingly sweet. I wished we hadn't introduced you to that. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's not like I've never seen people smoke before.
I suppose that's true.
Morrigan thinks that I haven't seen her, which is quite funny, but I won't. I've been told never to tell Essen.
All right, well, I won't tell Morrigan either. I don't need to give her another reason to hate me, so...
What do you mean? You were best friends, right?
Of course, we will be. When I go back. You were missing, it was a whole thing. I owe them a very nice bottle of something and an apology. Let's put it that way. Don't worry.
Okay. Wait, should I be helping?
Immediately worry sets in.
Oh, wait, should I be helping? I can help.
No. You sit down. You finish your carving. It's almost done.
As you look across, Pim is literally taking the last thing out of the last bag and putting it on the shelf, looks over to you and just kind of goes... I just
we
goes
had a good
off.
time though, Pim, didn't we?
Yeah, the best time. You're really talented. As he kind of steps out into the back garden with his tray of herbs and bedding plants and a little...
Virgil.
And begins working.
We got 23 gold.
Just from performing. That's...
And then there was this guy who was playing something with me, and it was like really cool. It was like this dynamic duet type of thing. I would play a solo and he'd play a solo, and it came together in this mishmash of wonderful sound. It was great.
Well, I definitely did the least interesting thing out of all of us today. That's...
I don't know, what were your books like? Some books can be fun.
I mean, I learned everything I needed to learn, let's put it that way. I don't think any of you would have been interested, but I have a way forwards, let's put it that way. I know what we need to do and how much time it's going to take. So once everyone's back, I can run us through everything. So,
cool.
How about we do a little bit of cooking? Should we get something on?
Yeah, sure. 1 second. And finishes off the carving.
Yep.
Or
1 second takes 15 minutes of your time.
Yeah. Before kind of like not really knowing what to do with the ashtray, so like slides it under one of the sofa cushions, thinking that's a safe place.
Cool. Noted.
In the time it took Kyria to finish off the carving, Virgil would have sort of taken out a big pot, chopped some vegetables, started salting water, that kind of stuff, just preparing the area for food to be created. Just something very simple and homely. Just a nice bowl of potatoes, maybe a roasted bit of meat if we had any come through. I assume it was like a full kitchen's worth of stuff that was bought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then
enough for a week, I think you said.
Yeah. So it'd be a nice refreshing meal. So he'll boil off the potatoes first, get some oil boiling, and then make some homemade roast potatoes and get a nice joint of whatever was bought in the oven. I assume we're going to have, because it's a fancy oven. So whatever's heating it is heating it in the back. It's arcane. It's
an Arga.
Nice.
An Arga.
And then just some vegetables to go with it. But he's just preparing a very homely meal at the moment, seeming to try and relax himself and get into a nice area.
Okay. As you're doing that and you're tucking the ashtray under the pillow, Kyria, as you get up to walk towards the kitchen to help Virgil, there is a knock at the front door. Doof, doof, doof.
Do we have a peephole?
No. Because that would ruin all of my fun.
Okay.
Can Kyria, use your chisel. Just drill one in right now.
Build a people.
Hold on a minute.
Are you serious?
Be with you in a minute.
Just a little eye.
I think we've said like there's a window that looks out onto the front, right? Can I have a little peek? Out the... I wouldn't. I'd fucking open the door.
No. Sure.
No.
If you want to peep, you peep. You tell me what you want to do, and we'll go from there.
No. Let's be true to
open the
character.
door?
I'm opening the door.
Okay, you open the door, and in front of you is a young boy, human boy, roughly around Pim's age, so 16, 17, and has in his hand a few reams of parchment, all cut out exactly the same shape and size, very much like pamphlet size, and he turns around and goes, "Ah, good morrow! What a wonderful afternoon this is, and a pleasure to make your acquaintance."
Pleasure to make yours.
Wonderful.
Just see Virgil lean from the kitchen looking out at this fucking person who's being polite at the door.
I would have slammed the door so hard.
Tell me,
yes?
you look like a fairly educated individual. Tell me, have you let the Radiant Dawn into your life so far? You see, Aloria sees all, and the radiant light that they cast down upon all creatures shines upon even the darkest of places. We would, if you have a moment, I'd love to tell you more about it.
I mean, that sounds wonderful.
So when the
really
heavens and the skies were
we're quite
created,
busy right now.
So essentially what Aloria did was...
I sent a message to Virgil going, Virgil,
so Aloria, you see, was...
From the kitchen, this guy will just hear a very audible clatter of a knife to the kitchen board as he comes out with like a small washcloth just doing his hands.
And you see, Aloria, it was one of the...
Sorry,
one of the first...
before this spiel carries on, what are you here for?
Oh, hi. Good afternoon. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. How are you today?
I was very good making dinner. It's changed a little bit in the last 5 minutes, but we'll see how it goes.
Don't worry, because I'm here to change your day for the better. It can only get better and brighter from here as Aloria's light shines down upon us all. And
sorry.
You see, as you open your heart to not only love but light itself, it not only elevates you physically, but it's almost as if the lights
slowly
the light of the light. Poof.
have a good day.
I'm afraid this is an agnostic house until we have more proof.
And as you watch as this young boy's head slumped a little bit, dragging his feet a little bit, walks off towards the next house.
Oh, that does just annoy me. I really wish they wouldn't use people so young to try and spread their words.
It feels kind of, like exploitative.
Oh, 100%. They're using his, shining demeanor to try and get their light through all the doorways they can. It's just exploitative.
Yeah, I remember one time this, father and his little girl came to the door of the Artful Lodger, and I thought, potentially friend. And no, Moore slammed the door in their face very quickly, but, I didn't want to do that because he was I was like, oh, maybe this is Pim's made a friend. No.
I think a good rule of thumb from now on is just slam the door in any face that we don't recognize. Or doesn't make themselves to be known out to be our friend in the hood.
Okay, slam doors. Cool.
Hi, have you seen my missing cat? Boom!
See you later.
So, as the afternoon starts turning to evening, Virgil and Kyria, you start the preparations and undergoing of the meal preparation for this evening. Pim, after spending a good hour and a half outside, comes in, mud under his eyes, on his elbows. His hands are brown through digging in, the mud and that. He comes in, he goes, "Done it! They're all planted."
A mage hand instantly appears just to his chest, very gently. He goes, "Bath first, then you can tell us afterwards. Don't track any mud into this kitchen."
So fun.
But it's so pretty.
and you can tell us when you're clean, but please go wash up. It'll be dinner time soon.
This will be the second bath I've had today.
Well, then stop getting dirty.
This will be the second bath I've had this month.
That's disgusting.
Pim immediately starts wandering upstairs. And a short while later, Edivir and Liana, you arrive back at the property and right on time for dinner. As you enter the property, Pim comes down.
Naked.
No, clothed, clean.
Wait,
almost...
you messed up my clothes.
Yep. Yes, he did.
On our way back through the city,
Mhm.
given that we didn't stay long to check out Alden's place, could I have tried to keep an eye out for like either some kind of like tinkering shop or something like that? Basically, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for the supplies necessary to turn my sort of slightly disheveled hand crossbow into a hand crossbow that I can attach to my forearm.
Okay.
nice.
So
And like have the arms of the crossbow fold down, sort of thing.
yeah, of
Assassin's
course.
Creed style.
Yeah, exactly.
So you will have passed the Hammered Anvil, which is a well-respected blacksmith's
Okay.
within the city.
Okay, cool. And I would have just popped in there, showed them the tools that I had, given the basic idea of the plans that I had, and asked for any sort of hinges and springs and stuff like that that would require.
Okay.
I think I
you
can
are.
probably do it myself with my tinker tools, though.
Well, you have a couple of options. They have the supplies there that you could buy to do it yourself, or if you wanted to leave it with them, it would take them roughly a day and cost you about 50 gold pieces. The equipment itself to try and do it is 20, but then they're charging you 30 gold for
the labour.
For them-
yeah.
for the
I
labour.
think I'll try. I think I'll just buy the parts and I'll just work on it whenever we have free time.
Okay. Mark off 20 gold pieces from your
Cool.
character sheet.
I've handed you back the 10 gold you've given me.
Yes. Cool. So I'll mark down 10.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Excellent. But you all converge in the property roughly around the time, coincidentally, that the meal of the evening was finished.
There's a very, very nice warm smell of home-cooked food as you walk in. It's very Sunday roastish.
Nice.
Well, it
Yeah,
is.
we don't
It is a
bother to
Sunday as
knock.
well.
We don't bother to knock
just
at all.
wondering.
Okay.
So just walking straight in and closing the door behind us, being hit by this lovely smell, I suddenly realise how hungry I am, having not really eaten breakfast.
Mhm.
Oh, that smells gorgeous.
Before
I'm
dark,
straight in the kitchen.
I just look over to Virgil and I was like, before dark, as requested.
Well, thank you for listening.
We have good news.
I wouldn't want you to miss out on dinner. So, please, sit. Let's have a meal together. Let's do this properly, shall we? I think we all seem to have had rather good days today, so...
We had fun.
Mhm.
We did.
You see Kyria come out of the kitchen with like their sleeves over their hands, holding like a hot tray of very deformed looking Yorkshire puddings with like flour all over their face and like in their hair around their horns. It's just like, I cooked. But just did the rest. I cooked these.
But you did beautifully.
What
They
are they?
look lovely. What? Yeah, I was going to say, what are they? Muffins?
They're batter puddings. Have you never had them before? They're very good.
What's pudding?
Oh, so we have meal and pudding. Oh, nice.
No. It's like a small batter cup. You put gravy in it, and it's enjoyable.
Like a little boat. You can't really use these as boats though.
Yeah, yours
I
are more
feel
like
like-
plates.
I feel like every time I ask a question, I'm just going to have another question at the end of it. So I suppose I'll just eat it. And
You put
Totally
the gravy on it. It's delicious.
again, don't know what that is, but sounds lovely.
Gravy.
It's like broth, but thicker. For
It's
food.
a sauce.
I
It's
come from a
yummy.
desert.
Try it. Yeah.
We don't usually use our water for making gravy.
I guess that makes sense.
No, that's-
I'm sorry, but as a southerner, saying shit like that to someone who's
That kind of
born,
desert.
honestly, we don't use our water for gravy like that. that
You're
hits some-
thinking, you're thinking Arizona. I'm thinking
Sahara.
fucking Mongolia.
Yeah. Sorry, the
Southern
north-south
Sahara.
border was severely like brought further north for me. Then it was just like,
Yeah,
sorry, continue. But as you guys start tucking into the first mouthfuls of the meal, there is again a at the door.
I got it this time.
Kiri, I'll go.
Opens the door, slams it.
Gee, as soon as you open the door, you see a very familiar face as he goes, "Hello, Bumble."
I open the door again. Sorry, I was just practicing a lesson.
That's twice you've been rude to me today.
What do you mean?
Sorry, this one's on me.
You slammed the door in my face, and then you told me that you were losing connection through a magical device that allows us to communicate over.
I'm sorry, my dinner's getting cold.
I guess I'll come in then. And he just kind of like steps through the door and shuts the door behind him and goes, "Ooh, that smells wonderful."
Well, I can set you out a plate if you like.
As long as I'm not intruding.
No, there's more than enough. Come, sit. And then we'll go get an extra plate out and the cutlery necessary and sit him as close to Kiri and Edivir as possible, just so that the cool kids are all sat together. Sort of like shuffle things around a bit. And
he sits down next to Edivir, and Edivir has the bomb on the dinner table, and with his left hand he is stuffing some of the most gravy sodden Yorkshire puddings you've ever seen into his mouth, like he's on his third. Seems to be really enjoying himself.
Nice.
And with the other hand, he's like delicately pulling out the springs of the detonator device and stuff.
As Benji turns around to see this, he's like, Edivir, no toys on the table. Can you get that off while we're eating, please?
Yeah, sorry.
The Raven walks across the room, pulls up a chair, and just kind of... You see that for the first time, their shoulders seem to, like, drop a little bit. Like, the facade as such is kind of dropping, the guard is coming down a little bit. The hood hasn't, but the guard has. As he begins to chop and eat, puts the first bite in his mouth, just drops the fork to the plate, leans back in his chair and goes, "Oh, that is like... It's like an explosion of flavour in your mouth.
It's really good.
Like, the depth... What do you call this stuff?
What's he picked up, or is he just...
No, he's pointing at the gravy.
Oh. How do none of you...
It's like a soup. But
it's
like it tastes of meat.
Yes,
Yeah,
essentially.
right.
It's called
Meat
gravy.
water.
It's
like meat water. This is
Mm.
fantastic. And he's just digging in.
Two favourite things.
Meat and water.
Pim,
Yeah.
I made an onion gravy for you too. And I'll put like a tiny little jug of onion gravy next to it.
Oh, thanks. And then the Raven kind of like during the meal turns and goes, how are you all doing?
You know hoods are rude at the table, right? You can take it down.
I could. You're absolutely right.
Then you should. Because I'm right.
If he's not comfortable, let him be comfortable.
But I won't, so I shan't.
Edivir just goes, "It's been a pretty eventful day," and he reaches across the table and like where there's like a plate of like the roast meat or whatever we're sort of all helping ourselves from. He just sort of uses the braces of flying daggers to just make a dagger appear in his hand and then stabs one of the pieces of meat and then starts eating off the dagger.
There's cutlery
Yeah,
right next to your plate.
We've actually had quite eventful days, actually.
Yeah, me too. Pim, don't rush your food, but once you're done, we're heading off. All right.
Soon?
Yeah. I think the sooner the better, really. It's not long been since the episode last night, and I think the sooner we can get Pim checked out, the better.
Well, that actually quite nicely leads into what I've researched since we last spoke. I've done a lot. Liana, this will affect you as well. This was going to happen no matter what. You have been affected by the lycanthropy curse. It is, as we all know, transmuted through bites, and on the first full moon of the month, you would have turned no matter what.
Well, I didn't turn.
Well, a large part of its effect is based on the will of the one who's contracted it. You have to want to fight it. You have to have the constitution necessary to shake it off should it come around. Pym was just a lot more badly damaged than you were, but that is one thing to note. You will transform uncontrollably should you take more damage than you can muster. It will just naturally occur in you. The same with high emotions.
Even without a moon?
Even without a moon. It is less likely.
Oh.
It's less likely to occur, but a full moon is a guaranteed transformation. Long periods of time where you take, damage in battle will exacerbate it. It will naturally try and force its way out as a sort of defense mechanism. It does come with a few perks, though. You will be immune, same with you, Pym, to any weapon that isn't magical or silvered, which is good. Heightened sense of smell, which for you, Liana, I assume you already kind of have, being Leonin, but Pym, you will gain one, and dark vision, for whoever's not got it, but again, don't we all?
Dag's like, no.
I've learned of the cure, and it's not going to be simple or easy or fast, I'm afraid.
Oh.
Quick question, Liam. You said the time scale and the moons and the planets are all the same here. What month roughly are we in? Like, if you were to put it to the months of our calendar, what would it be roughly?
About April.
April, okay. Give or take, we have about 28 to 29 days left before we can potentially cure this. We need to do it specifically. This disease used to be a lot easier to get rid of, but it seems to have evolved and complicated itself in the many years it's been around. We need to do it in the first hour before full moon on the next month. We either need to find belladonna in its purest form, so plant belladonna, also known as wolfsbane, or a wolfsbane potion. And on top of that, we need to find a cleric who can remove curses, or someone who is skilled with divine magics to bolster it as we go. I'm going to start working on something, but we need a combination of these things to have a better chance of ridding you of this. Luckily, time is on our side, but
I don't know about that. If you can't cure it until the moment that it's going to force us to change, surely...
It's what I've read from all the accounts of people having it, of people who have watched people who have had it. The 1 hour before the full moon is set on the last day of the month, or
there was creatures in the desert, and the best time to hunt them was when they came out to feed. So maybe just before you're about to transform is when the curse is most exposed.
That's probably about right. I would imagine as it's at its most potent before you go, hitting it with something hard is likely to force it one way or the other. But even with those things, you two have to want this to work. You have to be ready to fight it.
Of course. Why wouldn't I want it to work?
I'm not saying you don't, but I'm saying that it takes a toll. You'll have to fight this.
Well, Pym, have you just about finished? And Pym just kind of picks up the last potato, starts eating it, and he kind of like shoots you a look, Virgil, the Raven, shoots you a look, and just kind of like turns from you to Pym and just goes, go get your cloak, we'll be heading out in a moment. And Pym just kind of goes, okay, sure. Jumps down from the table and skirts off upstairs to gather what belongings he might need for this trip out. And as he gets upstairs, the Raven then turns and goes, I appreciate your candor with the information you've gathered, but maybe picking and choosing the way we're putting this across, especially with someone so young.
Pym's no fault.
No, but he's not a man grown yet. And things like this can have lasting effects. The last thing we need is him scared of himself.
Trust me, I know what it's like to be afraid of something that may be coming your way. So I believe in Pim's ability to get through this. He will. He knows he has us. He knows I have a plan, and he knows that no matter what, we will see him through it one way or another.
As I'm sure we will, and I also believe him to be very capable. But where fear is sowed, what reaps afterwards is often detrimental to the person. So let's kind of take the sting out of the tail, if we can.
Where you're taking him, is he going to be at risk?
No. And I give you my word, I will stay with him the entire time.
And he'll be back before the next full moon?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's just routine. We're just taking him to get checked over. Center himself with nature, and then send him on his way. Bring him back to you.
If you learn anything else that Virgil hasn't already said about this, maybe a faster way of curing this, obviously that information will be appreciated.
Yeah, of course. Sorry, what did you say, Kiri?
Where's he going?
Oh, I'm just taking him to see some friends of mine who are very excited to meet him.
Druids.
Oh, he'll love that.
Yeah, I thought so.
Like a little holiday.
Maybe they can teach him to wild shape properly. As she says,
as you say that, right behind you, Pim goes, "Hey, I can wild shape properly, just different to other people."
That's what I meant.
And puts his cloak on, and kind of like a little furled brow as he's putting it on, like, "Hey, man."
Well,
I didn't mean it.
Before you take him away from us, there is some other things we learned today on other topics. Mine and Leanna's excursion proved extremely fruitful.
Yes, I helped.
Very much so.
You guys got fruit as well?
Information.
I had a couple of cherries in my hand, yeah. But it led to us getting a lot of information, or a key piece of information, about who originally set me up in the first instance. We went to Briscoline's bakery and we spoke to Burhand. It would seem whoever put me to this task through Burhand was someone of great means, a high mover in the city, and they just so happen to contact Burhand through a familiar individual. They got the job from Malgrave's butler.
Vessel?
Was that his name? I was just looking at his silly haircut, to be honest, but yes.
Greasy pulled back hair, very uptight.
Elvin, yes.
Push twats, boy.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, we're not saying that this connects him to what's going on in the rest of the city, but he's got his fingers in pies in some way. What we need to figure out is what the true target of that night was. And yes, eventually.
Well, where was whatever happened? Where did that happen?
It was in the upper city, central.
Okay. You have means of getting to the upper city?
Not anymore.
No.
Not unless we fix the collars.
Okay.
Or talk to our friend.
And he kind of pulls, like, goes into his inside pocket and pulls 3 pieces of parchment out, and he says, "Only 3 I can spare." Puts them on the table. You'll know what to do with them. On that, I got word that there were... I got word from some of the eyes that I have dotted around the city, and it appears that there was movement in the lower city, some 3 or 4 wagon loads full of quite large, crates being moved from the center of the center of the lower city. I would only hazard a guess, but I would assume that that's our friend who's now moved.
We
stopped by there and there was SBC.
There was SBC?
Yes.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. You guys didn't exactly leave a clean crime scene.
We tried.
I'm sure you did. Look, these things happen.
They didn't see us though, so
Good.
this time.
Good. I make my my way in life by priding myself on not being seen, so that's good. You're learning.
You see, she actually genuinely gets all chuffed to herself.
It's good to be.
Wagons.
It's good to be unseen, but maybe not so good to be unknown.
We spoke to a man with a wagon as well.
Well,
Oh yeah.
Greybeard.
never heard of him.
He.
Wait, Pim.
Pim then goes, oh, yeah. He's a kooky old man that's doing something with a ship, I think.
And he won't complete it before he's dead.
Yeah.
You
that's
met
what
this
they
man
said.
as well?
No,
Yeah.
I just kind of, I overheard two people talking about it in the marketplace.
Oh. Okay. I thought he might be following us around. I was about to add him to my list.
Yeah, that would have been sus. But no, he's building a ship. Well, he's repairing a ship. And he could do with our help, and then possibly he would owe us a ride.
Quite the
Well-
galleon by the sound of it. Far too large for him to pilot on his own.
Well, sorry, I don't mean to be rude, and this all seems very interesting, but we have somewhere to be.
Of course.
Of course.
I'll stay with Pim until he's done, and then we'll come and meet up with you guys.
Okay.
Promise not to leave before you get back. She winks at Pim.
Pim just kind of smiles a little bit, and then walks around the table, says goodbye to you all, and him and the Raven head out into the evening sky.
As the Raven goes, Virgil will just stand up quickly and just get his attention. Just goes, while you're with the druids, if you can ask them for any spare belladonna they may have, that would be helpful to this. They're druids, they probably grow this kind of stuff.
I can certainly ask.
Thank you. And then,
Virgil, do you know what it looks like?
would there have been drawings of it in the books that I read?
No, but the person that would know exactly what this looks like has just fucked off.
Yeah.
It's just
He's got to
left
cover
the building.
I was just thinking that there's really like exotic plants. Pim said in the garden. He would have said if once you said belladonna that it was in the garden. Never mind. Don't worry.
No,
I'm just thinking out loud.
Is there an unsafe amount of battered puddings to eat and gravy?
Yes.
You see,
if you get a pain in the left side of your chest, if you get a pain about here, probably have a vegetable or two.
No, it's more lower.
It was about 2 puddings ago.
No.
I'll be back in a minute. Edivir runs off.
And as Edivir runs off and the rest of you continue on with your dinner, we're going to go for a quick break. We're going to go and refresh ourselves. We will be back at 10 to 8. So we'll be back in about 15 minutes. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Take care.
See you soon.
Soon. Hey, Jinx.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tales on Tap. During our brief intermission, we talked about a load of nonsense. Anyway, we rejoin our party of the evening on the Sunday. They are currently in the lower section of their property, currently sat at the dinner table, having just completed their evening meal. Eaten their evening meal. We completed it!
Level up.
But you all have some time before the end of the day. If there's anything you'd like to do or discuss, then it's completely your time now.
Well, I have to say, I could get used to this way of life.
Eating and drinking.
Just in general, having a house, eating meals, that stuff.
See, it's not bad, is it? And you all said that you liked scratching your way in and living out in the middle of nowhere.
I never said I liked it.
Fussily
I
putting
like
things
it.
away.
Do you need a hand with those dishes?
Oh, no, it's fine. I've got this. It's, I'll sort it. You can already see a mage hand with a sponge just sort of slowly working around like a pan that's sat in some water at the moment as he's sort of just piling things up very neatly together and making sure that the forks and all the things are in the same place. And
Well,
That actually brings me to a thought that I've been having. We were talking about need a name to put on stuff. And while your Monster Hunter thing, I can't remember the name, what you call it, love.
Windmere control something.
Yeah.
well, that never comes up again.
actually, when you say it like that doesn't sound too bad.
I wrote it down.
Just you using that magical
Inside check.
hand. I know you and him have been using the invisible people for stuff. You have that spell that creates an invisible person.
Sorry, do you mean the unseen servant?
Bingo. I like that name for us.
Actually, does make a lot of sense.
I mean,
I
we're
mean,
trying to be
Unseen servant. Tales of the unseen servant. Righting wrongs. Across the lands. Yeah, it could work.
Would
I
we
was
still-
thinking more, like, sticking up for all the unseen servants that people don't see. But it works on many levels.
Extra good.
Would it be singular or plural? Are we servants or servant?
Unseen servants. I think plural.
We can work on that one. But I mean, I don't
Why
like
don't we
to
put
make
it
this
in
decision when
brackets
people
so it's
aren't
like an optional?
So unseen servant / servant.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
just
think-
have it as
The
both
talk
and
of
let
him
people
gets back.
say it however they want to.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of layers to it. We're doing things behind the scenes. We're trying to stay hidden, but then also, we represent everyone. I mean, at the end of the day, we're just.
Well, also, us.
He kind of, you can tell Edivir is about to say normal people, and he kind of looks around the table a bit.
Yeah.
It's just people.
It does mean that we're us. US. Unseen servant. We're just us.
Oh, yeah.
That's,
Okay,
like-
maybe that was an inside joke.
no,
I
that's
like
that's
that.
cute. But
All right, so let's go with that
This-
then. I like it.
Tim's gonna love that.
I
this
think he would.
this does bring up a question though I had actually regarding us as we've just
Merch.
come.
Regarding merchandising.
brand representation. We need PR on this.
Yeah, it's just something I was thinking about as we just come to call ourselves as us. Is
Unseen
this
servant.
band lasting after the circumstances that brought it together are over? Do you all intend to? It was something that's been on my mind for a while because I didn't quite know where this was going. We've been brought together by unfortunate circumstance, and once the circumstance is over, what are we
Well,
doing after that? Do we not
I
carry
think-
our lives as before?
I think to establish that,
I
we have. Go on.
While we were up today, I had to think about this particularly. And I have decided I have a goal, obviously. I have something that I need to do. But that is going to happen anytime soon. So, until then, I like us.
Well, look, I'll be honest with you all. I've generally made a point of doing things my own way for a very long time. Well, 3 years or so. Before that, I used to run with another group, quite a larger group than this. And I found myself held back, bogged down by minor things without really addressing the big issues. That's why I left. Since then, I've had mixed success, shall we say. I only know what I'm doing in situations like this because things have gone wrong enough times to teach me. I have goals. There is a mission I'm on. Leanna knows a little bit about that. And I'm happy to tell the rest of you more. But the nature of that mission, it's not so specific that I can't find ways to achieve my goals wherever I go. And I see in front of me, despite my initial suspicions, and there's a very brief glance towards Virgil, which you can tell he kind of realizes he does.
Yeah.
The stuff he's doing. I see good people. And I see people who have been wronged. And he makes a very deliberate look at Leanna and holds that for a second. And if I can help you all get out of trouble, as I've been doing so far, and help you right some of those wrongs that have been done against you, then maybe I'll be fulfilling my goals at the same time. So yes, I think we've got something here. We just need to make sure that we're all pulling in the same direction.
You see, Kiri for once is very deep in thought.
Oh no.
What? Well,
I'm joking. I'm only joking.
I'll put some coffee on. Hold on.
Okay, so I mean, I have obviously got more and S in here. But I'm really sorry, More and Essen. I do not mean this against you. I really don't. But quite honestly, I've learned more about, everything in the past week or so that we've been together than I have in my remembered life. I realize that I'm not good with... I have the potential to be good with social interactions and stuff like that, but, I've never had to, It's just, go run an errand and grab the potatoes from the food store. That was my extent of social interactions. Or sometimes I would host, a little party at the Upper Lodgia. Anyway, sorry. I know that I can be a lot. And I know that I'm probably naive to the world in more ways than I ever possibly realized. Part of me worries that that's going to get you all in trouble. I worry that I'd be the liability.
You don't need to worry about that.
I think you're far too hard on yourself, darling.
Despite the fact that you're not too experienced in social situations, you're incredibly difficult to dislike.
Bit like Pim.
I think you'd be an asset. You have been so far. And it's your creativity, more than your experience, that I would be extremely happy to have on my side.
And also, quite honestly, you're the most upbeat person I've ever met in my entire life. I don't think we'd be as far along as we are if we didn't have your rays of sunshine, at least piercing some of this gloom once a day.
Does it matter that I don't have any goals, though?
You'll find your own.
Taken time to... I've never even thought about it.
Now's a good time to start. Start thinking about what you want from life.
I think you have them, Kiri darling. I just don't think you've remembered them quite yet. But you will.
You're probably right.
There's leads we can go on. I've already been thinking about things I can research for you to tell you about and bring your way.
Can I join in on that? I'd quite like to research a bit more.
Yes, I've got 3 days before I have to return the book I borrowed, so if we're still here in about 4 days, that book might not take me too long. When it's time, we'll go to the library together and we will do a big research session. How about that?
That sounds good.
Good.
See, genuinely, Leanna just looks like, oh, books.
And as for Pim, I mean, we're basically his legal guardians, so...
He's trying to find his parents, isn't he?
I think I technically count as his mother. I'm not sure.
What about you, Virgil? I mean, are your goals aligned with staying with us for a prolonged period of time, or...?
You can sort of see as the conversation's been switching between the two of you, like plates have been washed, and he's just sort of been idly putting them away while still quite clearly listening and turning around every so often. The mage hand will fly something into a drawer and just, like 3 hands, he's just moving stuff around. It can. It wants to. I know none of you know what I was going to this school for, or even really where I come from, or anything about me. I tend to keep it close to the chest because it is not something... I know people will view me slightly differently when they find out what is going on, so I tend to not reveal it straight away because it will taint the view, I suppose, or make them think something different. So,
are you a spy?
I am Gideon Malgrave.
Yeah, it rips off the rubber mask, and suddenly it's Malgrave. Double agent all along. No. It's a long story, but to give you a small piece of myself, as I probably should, as the unseen servant comes together and we start being more us. It's very cute, by the way, Leon. I do like that a lot. I don't come from Seraph's Rest, not really. I come from a commune not too far away from there, a place called Bohemia. It is where I was born, and it is for lack of a better term, a holistic medical facility. Holistic medicine means it's not really medicine, it's more good thoughts and prayers that are given your way and you just sort of live out. My father is dying of a curse I believe is very preventable. So are a lot of my kin. And I believe that the commune is working against them and wants them to be seen to their end via this affliction we all have.
Some kind of poisoning?
No, it's old. Lives within the elemental kin bloodlines. It moves from person to person that way. It is... I have not had a lot of chance. The thing about the commune is it got very insular towards the end of my stay. I've not had a chance to research as much as I would like to, and I've not had enough chance to figure out any potential leads, but it was the reason I had snuck into the restricted section of the library at Wa, because information here seems to be under wraps or kept close to the chest, and I don't understand why.
You said we. Do you have it too?
As he sort of leans against the counter and just brings his nails up and is it? Yes, I do. It is the reason for my discoloration and my nails. It is the beginning stages of the affliction. It affects the elemental kin differently depending on who you go to, but you can see a visible shake sort of starts to go into his hand as he looks. As
I grab his hand.
I am slowly petrifying, essentially. And eventually I will return to the element I was born from. Not for a good couple of years yet, and I'm talking the life age of an orc or a goblin, at least another 50 or so years for me personally, but my father is very far along. He has maybe 10, but I don't know if they can accelerate it. And I want to try and figure out a way of undoing this curse that is upon us all. So I escaped, made my way across the entirety of Windermere, lived an entire life in about 6 to 7 months, enrolled myself in war and blew up half of it. It's just been so spectacular, really, honestly. But that is my goal.
You went to the library today. At your first chance to research stuff, you tried to cure me and Pim and didn't try and cure yourself.
I didn't even think about it, darling. The fact of the matter is, I saw what was happening to you. It was very reminiscent of what I have been through with a lot of my old friends and commune peers, and lycanthropy is older, I think, or is at least as old, and I know it can be stopped very readily. I just didn't know how. If I can help you two become you again, I don't know, I think a small part of me just thinks that I can use that as a starting block to work on myself, but you come first. You defend me from rat people and take the bites that probably should have come my way, but you know. That's what I'm doing. That's what I have been doing. It's a lot
to your nature that you would think first of people you barely know. Then think of... I'm sorry, you said petrification. I'm presuming that means turning to stone.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay.
It's not a very process. I've seen it before.
I genuinely thought it was a fashion choice. It actually looks quite good on your hands and stuff. I'm not saying that it should be that way, but it looks quite good.
No, my best friend, she taught me how to apply my jewelry correctly. Black with gold is a very good color. I make sure my nails aren't particularly unkempt, so they just come off as, quite cuntye. But, it's...
You've effectively just described a hatchet manicure. As you're saying this, Virgil, Kyria, you're kind of like lost in your own thoughts about what your goals could be. As you look across the table towards Edivir, who reaches into his inside breast pocket and pulls out a cigarette and begins to light it.
Kyria immediately springs up from the table and dashes to the lounge, and just you hear like everything being thrown around a bit before.
What the hell's going on?
Just act surprised.
I mean, I am genuinely surprised. So...
What are we acting surprised at?
I don't know.
I kind of come in very proudly, holding something kind of like hidden. It's like, okay, so, first of all, should you be doing that inside?
Sorry. He goes to get up from the table. Sorry, but my bad. I'm not used to, not used to cohabiting.
Let's go see what Pim's done out in the garden.
What have you got there?
Let's go see what, and just walks.
Yeah. So you see that Kyria, they just start heading off across the room towards the garden, out of the patio door, into the garden.
My gaze follows them as they leave into the garden. Can I see what time of day it is by the sky?
It's evening. Yeah, it's getting
dark.
So
it's dark.
Edivir goes out with probably the third of the cigarette that he has left.
Kyria is kind of like sat on the stoop, kind of worrying over this thing in their hands.
Elevia just sort of pops a squat next to you, sits down.
Okay, so I know you don't want to make, you probably don't want to make a big spectacle of things, so, I was really subtle. I got you outside. But I got you something.
What do you mean?
I got you something at the market.
What, like
Oh, it's this.
weapons or?
No. And takes out an ashtray, which, to the best of their ability, has Freya carved into the base of it with a dagger pointing through the E. I thought you'd... It's stupid. It's okay. I'm not really good with working with wood.
And he takes it, and he just kind of looks at it, and you see he runs his thumb over the word. And he's quiet for quite a while, and you can sort of see there's almost like there's a sense at first that maybe you've upset him.
Yeah, and at that kind of indication, Kira's like, I just kind of, I was probably wrong to assume that it was important.
No. You made this? For me?
Well, I carved it. I bought the ashtray itself.
This is very good. You've done well.
Thanks.
Takes a delicate hand.
It's a lot more difficult to work on than bone.
He kind of scoots up next to you, so you're shoulder to shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Rushes straight past the bone comment.
Ignore. Yeah, we're not straight into that territory. This is touching on it. And he sort of turns the thing to you. And he says, Falstaff, Ridian, Edivir, Edgar, Roanna. It's my brothers and sisters. Well, my brother and sister. My brothers and sister.
Oh.
It's a nice little coincidence, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was just kind of, because, I don't know, just your mannerisms and stuff. I just thought it was fitting.
Yeah.
And I know you got it. I saw that your tattoo and I thought it was cool. And...
No, you're right about that as well. It does mean something. It's what we're trying to be. We're trying to free people. And he's quietly just stares at it for a while. Thank you, Kyria. I've never received a gift before in my life.
Really?
Well, not from a friend.
Well, I wanted to... I don't know. I know that you're warming to us, and I know that, sometimes there's going to be...
Just kind of puts a sort of a hand sort of on your shoulder / the back of your neck, and just kind of pulls you in for like a one-armed hug for a minute.
It starts as one-armed hug, and then Kyria just immediately is like swaddles you.
He pats with the other hand. I'll look after it. I almost don't want to use it.
Yeah, I did quite a good job, and I wasn't expecting. I thought it was going to be shit, so I was like, "Oh, it'll be fine." But that's actually really quite good. Quite proud of myself for that one.
You should be.
I mean, we can always turn it into something else.
Well, maybe we could add something.
Yeah.
Like a bomb.
I think...
No, sorry. Sorry.
Maybe at the bottom here, at the tip of the dagger. US. Us.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I think then it will be finished.
Yeah. And I think kind of like as you're finishing the dregs of the cigarette, you can see that there's still something on Kiria's mind that like that seems serious that they want to talk about, but they also don't want to. They're kind of like rocking, like aware that they're just kind of rambling and are just like trying to stop saying something.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was unexpected. Thank you again.
It's okay.
Is that everything you wanted to talk to me about? I get the feeling this isn't the only reason you asked me to come out here.
There was a moment today when I was out with Pim, and I feel like you're more kind of versed with, I don't know, the world, I guess. It made me really uncomfortable. And I've not really had that before. Because, okay, so basically when we were getting the hat, because we decided that the priority was to get a hat to busk so we can get the money from busking. So we were like, we need a hat.
Oh, good. You didn't buy me a hat as well.
No. The hats were so overpriced.
I don't want a hat, just in case in future. I don't do hats.
Okay. I can't do hats.
Yeah.
I point to my horns. We are not hat people, but Pim wanted a hat, and we thought it'd be good, so we went and got a hat. But the guy at the hat place, I didn't look like me, so it's technically fine. It technically wasn't me.
I think I know where you're getting at. Kiria, there's a lot of not great people in this world. And the range of not great goes from unpleasant to downright evil.
Yeah, I'm realizing that.
Given what some of us are trying to achieve, particularly myself, we're going to be coming across a lot of really, really nasty people. Those people might not make you feel great about the world. Some of them might not make you feel great about yourself, but it's never your fault. It's something wrong with them. And if they ever do make you feel bad, you just tell me. Just walk away, smile, and come straight to me. And I'll help you deal with it. I'll show you how to deal with it.
I think, honestly, it was one of those things that I can deal to some extent with seeing outright evil and seeing people not in control. Like, what we've dealt with so far, I think I've, for the most part...
You've been wonderful.
Cope's okay. But it's when it's... I've never been... He was trying to get me to go out on a date, and I was like, I can use this to my advantage to get a deal, not thinking that anything would really happen with it. And so I was just like, yeah, I've read books like this. This is fine. Like, I can flirt my way into getting a price. That's just haggling. And then, but I've never been on a date before. It's just this whole realm of the unknown to me.
Well, I can tell you're certainly not alone in that. My life hasn't afforded me many opportunities to stop and appreciate such things or pursue such things. Honestly, for me, it's never really been a priority or even an interest.
There's nothing wrong with us for that, though, right?
No. This is what I'm saying. If someone makes you feel unsure about who you are, it's more likely that they've got a problem with themselves than that there's a problem with you. So just ignore them.
Yeah.
And if they really upset you, what do?
Walk away, come to you, and then we figure it out together.
That's right. Now, who was
Okay.
he?
Oh, Jim Bob.
Immediately, no messing about. Kiria's memory up to this point has been shocking. As soon as that question's asked,
That's Trevor.
Incredible. His name's Jim Bob. He's 6'4". He's got brown hair. O+ blood type. He lives on
Jim Bob the Hat Seller.
Yep. Yes, sir.
I'll make sure he learns a lesson. But it's a good job that he doesn't know what you look like.
Yeah. Yeah. He also thinks Pim's my son.
I mean, that's still kind of believable, to be fair.
I dressed him up as me earlier. It was so...
I saw. Oh, no, wait, I didn't see, did he? I'll have to see him in your shoulder suspenders one day.
It was great. He had my shirt on as like a dress, and then the suspenders. It was great. Sorry. I'll leave you alone. I just wanted to...
You don't have to. Although this is finished now. He goes to stub it out in the ashtray and then just stubs it out on the floor next to the other small pile of cigarette butts that was there from when he was chain smoking with him. It's not finished yet. I don't want to spoil it.
Okay. Yeah. We'll finish it.
In the meantime, Leanna and Virgil still in the house. What are you guys going to be doing during this interaction?
You go. Yeah.
I don't know. I was so caught up in that. No thoughts of Leanna.
Yeah.
Virgil, do you want to take it away from here then? Or...
Yeah, you start it.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, as he was sort of, as Virgil was sort of getting towards the end of what he was saying, and then Kiri's sudden realization that, oh, I made something and I have to show it to someone right this second, and then just like sort of ran out the door. He sort of looks after Edivir slightly. He's like, I really wanted to drag on that, but I don't want to interrupt. Okay.
I am running out of tobacco as well.
No, that's fine. I'll chip in. Sort of looks to Leanna and just sort of gives a sort of half-hearted smile as he finishes putting away the last of the plates, and just looks around for anything mildly sweet that he asked for in the thing, and comes across.
Well, you specifically asked for ingredients to make them yourself. You didn't ask them to bring you baked goods back. You said, "Get me."
No, I said pick me up something sweet, but also pick up things for baking because I can show you how.
He did ask for both.
I did.
All you're getting is ingredients, Dan. Sometimes in life there's a range from unpleasant to no baked goods, and you're firmly at one end of that scale, brother.
No, look, it's fine. No one thinks about Mum. It's cool. I'll just make do with what I've got.
30 seconds later, comes back with a full bowl of cookie dough. Like, I've made this myself. And we're going. Sure. What baked good would Virgil like?
We'll just say it's simple stuff. So just like a little tray of muffins or something, just little blueberry muffins. He's just going to put them on a small plate and place them between him and Leanna, and then start putting hot water, honey, and lemon in a cup, and just look to him and go, "Would you like one? It's very good for the throat."
Sure.
Yeah, excellent. Okay. And he makes us 2 cups of honey and lemon, sets it apart, and just clasps it with both hands, and just looks very warm, and starts sipping slowly.
Excellent.
Hypothetical.
I'll go for it. I love thought experiments.
If someone was to say, here's the cure for your family and yourself, but you had to kill one of us.
The trolley problem 2.0.
Yeah. You generally see, you just sort of see him just like, right.
What would you do?
Oh, throw away the cure, obviously.
Good. I had that situation happen to me today.
Between killing one of all of us, or just the one outside smoking?
The one outside smoking. It was Michael on a plate, wrapped in a bow. All I had to do was kill him, which, let's face it, I could do really fucking easily.
Ha!
I mean, you could do it. You could do it to all of us. To be fair, it's not. You are pure muscle. There's not a lot. None of us are getting around Juliana.
I'm 90% fur, to be fair, but yeah, that's fair.
Oh, no way, me too!
I felt bad for a split second because I'm annoyed. We all think about things, and I did for a split second think about it.
We're all
But there's no way I could have done it.
Yes, but we all think about the bad thing, don't we?
I mean, thought experiments.
No, I know, but just generally, we all think about doing the bad thing. There's nothing wrong with it. It's what you choose to do with thinking about it. Not all of us, do you follow through with it, or do you choose the better path?
I chose the better path and I got some handcuffs for it, but...
Those will come
All right.
Yeah, sounds like the right path to me.
I mean, come the full moon, they might be handy, just in case your cure doesn't work.
I mean, you can use them pretty much any night of the month. It depends what you... well, if you want to keep it for then, that's fine. I wouldn't worry. I've thought of plenty of times about doing the bad thing. I once followed through, and now I'm in a kitchen in a house I barely own, surrounded by people who also did it once. And it worked out, didn't it?
As you guys are talking, Virgil on the table, a little bit arm's length away from where Kyria was sat originally, you see a rolled up newspaper on the table.
Yeah, forgot about that.
Thanks, Dan.
Oh yeah, infamy.
No.
As he takes
Leave us alone. We're monologuing.
I don't
It's
fucking
our
think
turn.
so. I don't think so. As you look at the newspaper, continue.
Yeah.
So as you look at the newspaper, it's joking, Dan. Go on.
That's
Sorry.
Well, I can't not look at the newspaper now. You've hyper-focused me on it. Fuck this. No, Virgil's going to sort of realise that he buried it amongst the food and sort of put plates around it and thought it was like a balled-up napkin or something he'd done himself. And And he's going to pull it towards himself and just roll it out flat, not necessarily reading it straight away, but just having it ready to sort of start flipping through when...
If you rolled it out flat in front of you, it would have triggered the thought, oh, it did say... I'm catching Kyria.
Bad.
When she was letter training, and it was at the bottom of a letter train when she was
Carry on.
Right.
Ignore Dan.
Anything was saying that maybe we should check newspapers for information on that explosion that he was supposed to do, but then didn't do, then someone else did, and that might be in a newspaper. We were supposed to look for a newspaper while we were out, but then we got distracted.
Well, that was a long time ago, though. That was before the initial...
Yeah, that was in the newspaper now. He was talking about people that keep newspapers, lots of them, but I don't know anyone like that. But it might be in there, just while you're looking.
All right, yes, I'll start flicking through the local tabloids, see if there's anything interesting in there. Maybe go make sure that Edivir's not teaching Kyria how to smoke. And yeah, it's just front page, start flipping her through it, and
okay.
Oh dear. Investigation or whatever I need to do to trawl through this paper to find interesting things to read.
There's nothing interesting to read in the newspaper.
Well,
I'm joking. Investigation check, please.
Doesn't fucking surprise me. It's a newspaper.
The Windmere Falcons win the cricket match 163 to 151.
Investigation.
Yes, please.
Okay, that is a 21.
21. Okay, on the first page, on the front page news, there is a huge article about the imminent arrival of delegates from the Isle of Solasta.
Okay.
And that they are due to arrive within the next couple of days to solidify lasting peace treaties that could be currently at risk.
Peace treaties, okay.
You read further, and the followers of Maharot deem the travesty that has struck Windmere as a blatant attack on their sovereign nation.
So I said that again. Followers of what?
Maharot. Maharot. Maharot.
Followers of Maharot deem the strike on Windmere.
The strike. The events within Windmere as a blazoned attack on their sovereign nation. Then there's a lot of political speak about if the peace treaties do not hold, then it could be outright war between the free people of Skyhaven and the followers of Maharot.
So when they say events, does it give hint to what these events were, or is it just the way Windmere has been at lately?
It does not give you any clue as to any of that.
Right, okay. Don't forget paper.
Journalism.
I know, right?
But
tell you what
if you maybe picked up tomorrow's newspaper, it might have it in there. And that's how they get you.
Drip feed. There you go.
Oh, for God's sake. Okay.
Follow for more.
Yeah.
Follow for part 2.
And after 3 weeks of reporting on this, we'll find out it's global warming's fault anyway.
Yep. Could mean war. Go on.
The what?
Anything else?
Oh, no, that's the general gist of that article that you get. On the 4th page of the paper, there is another article, kind of more local news, and it is being reported that the reported usage of Flux has hit an all-time high within the city.
No mentions of districts, areas, any specific things to avoid upon, anything like that.
It says that there has been a huge uprising of users within the Undercity, and there is a official government warning to avoid walking through and visiting the Undercity. Okay. It also makes claims that the security to the shipyard and the port have been doubled.
Okay.
In an effort to try and contain this epidemic of flux to the city walls. The guard on all entrances and exits from the city have been doubled in an effort to try and contain whatever this is.
So, reading that, it wouldn't be too much of a logical leap to assume that they think it's getting in through the shipyards. They just haven't figured out which ship and how.
Don't know. You can piece it together like that if you want. That is interpretation of which I cannot comment on.
Well, if they're looking, sorry, I'm not there.
I keep wanting to say something too.
That's what happens when you're the only one in the know. Doubled.
This is just because I didn't take you to blow something up, isn't it?
I would not have done one in that situation, so it's a good thing you didn't.
Oh, I know.
Light the fuse and run. No.
Does this have to evolve into violence?
Always.
Virgil, if there's any mention of any arena listings, gladiatorial listings, can you see if the ban House Galahad has been lifted?
Yeah, sure. I'll flick to the sports page, see what's going on with the gladiatorial listings.
Yeah, sure. You have found that where the section of usually where you would find the gladiatorial listings, you have a huge notice down on one page, almost the full length of the page, that says that all gladiatorial games have been suspended until further notice.
Oh. And as he reads that, he will sort of read it sort of semi-aloud to Leanna enough so that she can hear.
Oh. I think I'm gonna have to check in on somehow.
It does seem...
At this point, Kyria and Edivir, you will have come back into the property.
As you watch, as you sort of see Virgil towards the end of the local, chip paper.
Yeah, I think that's definitely on my to-do list, is to go and see. I wouldn't call him a friend, but it's the closest thing to a friend.
Do you think that House Galahad are still keeping them?
Well, I mean, they could have sold them if they're no longer allowed in the games. If they can no longer compete, then they could sell their stock. I hate using that word, or they could dispose of them in other ways. And
You said that they used Flux to try and improve your performance or cheat the system in the gladiatorial arena, right?
That wasn't a common occurrence. I had fought people that had obvious signs of Flux usage, but we had never been forced to take it before. It was only because I was refusing to fight the fellow that I was referring to just now, and I don't know if they had money on it or they would fight. So it was the first time that had happened.
Well, let me throw out my version of a plan, and I'll let Virgil disagree with it and bring it down to something a little bit more realistic.
It normally happens. Go ahead.
Sorry, what have I done to all of you?
You wait till you hear what I have to say. These people are trafficking in lives, keeping people incarcerated, selling them like commodities. And I think those are the exact kind of people I'm looking for to further my mission. So,
People that sell people.
Anyone who uses violence or other such means to oppress people. I like to get those kind of people out of the way, make sure they can't do that to anyone else. Maybe we can kill a few stones in the process, such as freeing your friend and finding out where they procured their flux from. If they are such a well-connected family that they are able to buy and sell people, put on fights, they must be fairly well-connected. I doubt that they're getting flux from some street dealer in the Undercity. Much more likely they're getting it closer to the source.
I have a slight theory. If you're saying that the gladiatorial shows have been cancelled without further notice, because, okay, so Clause B9 of the Windmere Laws and Legislation Acts states against slavery, a prohibition against slavery, which means that any sentient beings captured by individuals and sold onwards is strictly against Windmere's laws. So potentially your escape indicated that something wasn't quite right. And so maybe they've launched a full-fledged, investigation, and they're suspending gladiatorial games to kind of show face, because it's technically illegal.
You see that there is visible confusion
There's that
And
moment
two
that we
things.
keep having where it's like,
One, that you're reciting bylaws. And two, I'm confused. Isn't that how all fighters are?
No. What should technically happen is that if in a gladiatorial arena, you know, it's people who aspire to be fighters and want to train. And what sounds like what you were saying, that it was like to the death. That's technically not allowed. Well, you know, there might be some kind of
Always to the death, but yeah.
it's typically an entertainer sport. It shouldn't be, you know, it's literally illegal.
well, I mean,
I guess
in
I
that case,
just presumed that all fighters were treated the same as I was.
No, Windmere's
As
had
in-
a slavery prohibition in place for decades now.
Huh.
and in that case, not only would it be our moral imperative to remove these people, but also for the good of the city.
And cue Virgil.
I need to
with
think
the-
about this.
I'm honestly, Virgil, I'm surprised you haven't interrupted me and told me I'm not killing anyone yet.
He sort of finishes it up, folds it over, places it on the table. Look, I'm not... The fact of the matter is, if you don't listen, you don't learn, and not everything you're saying isn't beyond the realms of possibility. I do take things in, you know. I don't just actively ignore what you all say. I don't think I know better, I just think I have a less aggressive way of going about things.
And I wasn't criticizing you for that. In fact, I've somewhat come to rely on it.
I've read a few things within the paper. They're not massively interesting. There's a few delegates from Celastus coming in to sign some peace treaties. There's...
Wasn't there a diplomat coming in from somewhere else the other day?
there seems to be a lot
In
of
the
people
other newspaper that we read at Tanner's, there was a diplomat from someone, or
Yes,
delegation.
a
from
few
where-
of them have been coming in, but we also have some of the followers from Maharot coming our way to try and figure out some more things and broker what little peace they can, otherwise war is about to strike out.
I think it was Evercrest.
Potentially.
Oh,
But that's not...
You read the newspaper?
No, I just remember hearing the name.
But that isn't the most interesting thing we could have gleaned from it. They say the flux epidemic is hit hardest in the Undercity, as we assumed it would. But on the back of that, they have doubled the guards on the wall and the shipping yard, which leads me to believe that, however this stuff is getting into the city, is, like we theorized before, from outside and is getting transported in illegally.
Either that or they're trying to stop it from spreading elsewhere.
It's been made in the city and they're trying to contain it.
it's difficult to know whose side who is on. You know?
I don't think Windmere is big enough to host such a massive operation and hold it so close to its chest. Yes, we don't know much of the upper city, but the lower city we could be more than 100% sure there's nothing going on down there.
I wouldn't say that. Dark corners can hide a lot of things in a city like this.
They can, but with the desperation of the people down there, do you really think it wouldn't get out of control before they could handle it? You have more flux heads than you can manage. Those things are going to storm your borders for every
I
I'll
can't
just say that they are getting out of
It
control.
already has.
Yeah.
And so they're targeting the most vulnerable group and pinning it as a problem on them and banning people from going down there, as opposed to owning up and realizing that they're the creators of the mistake in the first place.
Yes, but I don't think the main operation is down there, is my point.
Right.
I think we're looking too much in this thing's face. We need to start thinking about why. This delegation coming. You mentioned something about being on the brink of war.
Well, it didn't really give me much. It's I think that's why they. I think that's how they make their money. They give you small amounts of information each day, and you just have to buy more papers.
What I've learned in my time that generally no one wants war. No one wants senseless killing. But there are some who do. There are some who do want war. Because war, for certain people, can mean great profits and power. It can mean opportunities to rise within society, to portray oneself as a hero.
Yes, an old friend of mine told me that once as well.
We've
We
already
need to get a board and some string and start putting these things down.
We've already established that whoever's pushing this flux epidemic, it's likely not for a profit motive. It's likely because they're getting ready to make a big move, a big political move. Exactly.
Like Malgrave.
Oh, no, sorry.
Maybe whoever is causing this destabilization, whoever is, attacking buildings in the upper city, perhaps it was an embassy.
We need to find out.
Maybe they're trying to stir things up.
We need to find out what you were going to destroy originally, don't we?
We do.
Was no mention of that in the newspaper.
No. Nothing like that.
I did get a check.
Well, we have a way to find out for ourselves. Can I look at the 3 pieces of paper that the Raven left?
You certainly can. They are small, very small parchment. And you unfurl the first one, and it is essentially a permit to grant passage through the inner wall into the upper city.
Like Tanner gave us.
No, these are different.
That was more like a day pass, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is essentially a worker's permit. Like, I come and go, I work through here. This is effectively a pass through, but there are 3. You make me a investigation, Edvir, please.
Ooh.
Can I give him advantage if it looks like something I'd be interested in as well? Because he's looking at it. It's information. It's stuff I'd be reading.
Yeah, but it's what I'm trying to see if you could point out isn't something that you.
Okay, never mind. That's fine.
Investigate. Oh, fucking hell! I got a +4. That is 19.
19. With that 19, given your previous experiences with forged documents, this has all the telltale signs of something that doesn't ring as being official, like officially drafted up. Like, there's imperfections in some of the printing, and there's bits of it that you're a bit like, the spacing in between a couple of the words is a bit off, and it looks like a very good forgery, but a forgery nonetheless.
I don't think they seem to be permits of some kind, workers' permits. I doubt they'll get us through any of the main gates, but the middle gate might work.
Maybe a busy gate? If they were busy and not looking at them as closely?
The middle gate tends to be where workers, servants, runners pass. That's where I went through during my first excursions into the upper city. They're a lot less lenient. They're kind of, I don't know, they seem a bit bored over there. They're a lot less sharp-eyed and with their wits about them than they were at the other gates.
Should have gone through that one with Tanner.
Well, it would have meant trouncing through the upper city for a longer period of time, in which case our disguises would have probably run out way before we got to Malgraves. But this means that we need to make much less effort disguising ourselves. Some still. And we do only have 3, so we're going to have to figure that one out.
Do you have a history of producing such documents that maybe we can make some more with using these as sort of a template sort of thing?
I do not. I'm not much of a calligrapher.
I can do my best. And as he sort of says that, quill will just fly out of his pocket and circle his finger a little bit before just hovering in place. I've spent most of my life writing, so if you want to make more, I can potentially give it a go.
I mean,
with a little bit more,
practice and have a little look and see if you can try. I mean,
and with a little bit more planning in place, and given the time that we have before we actually go up there, I could probably put together a fairly decent disguise for myself or one of you.
I have ways around that already. Yes, I'll be good.
And for if we are unable to reproduce a good enough replica of these, and I'll be honest, they're not perfect already. We do still have the potion of aqueous form. One of us could go in and...
What does that do?
It turns you into liquid. So 3 of us could go through as workers. The last one could go through as their refreshment for the day.
I'm not being turned into liquid, just saying. That sounds gross.
You are the most standoutish of all of us, love. There may not be a choice of it.
Does it last long?
At this point, the evening is drawing to a close.
Good question.
You guys are all getting towards the end of your adventuring day.
Well, how about this? I'll make you a trade. I won't give you 1 potion, and I'll put the potion of aqueous form on the table. I'll give you 2. And I'll also put on the potion of magical infusion.
What's that do?
You swing your weapon around a little bit more often than I do. That should give it a bit more of a kick. So, liquid for maybe about an hour, but then after that, very strong axe. So, you decide.
And if it comes to that, make a decision. I do like the idea of swinging a very magical axe.
Note to self, make combat for when she's in liquid form. To see how creative Natalie gets. Nice.
So
you can't talk, attack, cast spells, or activate magic items. Cool.
I used my action to drown them!
Holy shit.
I am the sea.
Well, look, we've got
So what are we going... Sorry, just so I'm sure, what are we going into the upper city for? Where are we going? What are we looking to get towards?
Well, if we can't figure out exactly what was attacked, and if it is of a sensitive nature, then there's a good chance that certain forces within the governing bodies of the city might be trying to keep that out of the press. So there's always a chance that we won't be able to find it out unless we actually go up and see for ourselves. So,
And then Gideon as well.
yeah, eventually we're going to have to go up there.
So we try and figure out where you were heading first on your original explosive
I know
adventure.
roughly where it was, but I was still a good 200 feet out from the target location when the bomb went off. So I know the rough area.
You could also do with figuring out what else exploded then.
That's what I mean. That's the whole point of it.
Can we?
Yeah, so I get that, but I'm just creating the map in my head. So we want to know where you were supposed to go, what actually exploded.
Exactly.
Can
That
we
might inform us
possibly
of.
figure this out tomorrow?
Oh yeah, you're
It's been a long day,
exhausted,
and I
aren't you?
felt crap when I woke up. So I'm going to call it an evening.
All right, sweetheart. You go.
It seems like a longer conversation
I
anyway,
just-
let's face it.
I had a thought. So we need to be careful because Gideon said...
As Kiri says that, Virgil just looks down and says, "Run."
No. Because
Stop
I
it.
remember Posh Twat said that he likes to go into the city and pretend to be other people to, because he's one with the people. We just
Yeah.
need to be careful who we're talking in front of and around because he might be there.
That's a very good point.
That's a very good point to keep in your head.
I'll go write it down.
But the Raven also said these things to us as well, just to be clear. He likes to be amongst the people. He likes to be out here.
Yeah, but
doing
he's
his thing.
cool.
Don't let that get the best of you. we still don't know what he's about. He's helped us a lot, granted, but...
I'm going to go to bed. Don't wake me up. But if you are, make sure you have food ready. And with that, she stands up. I know I have attuned to the cloak by now, so I can mark it as on my sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. And she gives you all a little tidal wave.
You might want to soak that axe overnight in the potion. Takes about 8 hours to infuse.
Does it wear off? Like if I infuse it now, don't use it for 3 days?
I mean, I've not got a huge amount of experience, but I would assume it lasts for a few days at least.
I will.
1d12 plus 4.
Do I soak it in it? Do I put it in like a bowl?
Virgil tries to find like the biggest dish bowl he can, so you can sort of angle this thing in there. And just like hands you just if you angle it and try not to cut the edges, I'm pretty sure you can just soak it in there overnight. Where's the bathtub? You can just put it in that.
I got a bucket.
It's just the head that you need to soak in there.
I take the bowl that Virgil gave me and I'd literally, on the table, just pour the potion in and then put my axe in it and leave it on the kitchen table as I fuck off to bed. He'll be ready in the morning.
You carry around a bucket?
Apparently.
No, we brought a bucket.
Oh, okay.
Cleaning supplies.
Makes sense.
Okay. So tomorrow's plan is a little bit of digging into what has come before this.
Yeah. And find out what this whole issue that Celestia had in Windmere.
Do you think it's worth going to Tana or Alara for this?
Alara might be a good spot. It would be good to find out if she's managed to figure out where the leak came from as well.
That's a point.
So I reckon stopping with Alara, maybe ask around some of the local newsboys, see if they've got any week-old editions laying around anywhere. Might give us more information.
Yes, okay.
Feels like we're getting closer to something here.
The pieces are there, we just don't have those little connective tissues.
Well, it's only a matter of time, isn't it?
They're really tricky to remove, so they'll be around somewhere.
Oh, this is more bone talk, isn't it, Sweetness?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The connective tissue.
Oh, right, okay. I get it.
Okay, well...
It still works, though, because I'm just saying it will be close by. We're nearly there.
I know you are. It's,
The bone is not too far from the connective tissue.
Can we discuss, once we find out who this is, what do we do with them?
I suppose it's a case of what can we do with them. If it's Malgrave, we can't just outright murder higher-ups and officials with nothing behind us but good intentions. As much as we would all like to, or most of us, that would be more detrimental to us in the long run.
Maybe.
We need to build up as
Definitely.
much evidence as we possibly can, because if we want to do this legally and clear our names, we need to get proof that we are, accusing the right person.
If Malgrave was the one who was going to clear our names in the first place and he ends up being the perpetrator of all this, then we're not working for anyone.
No.
He was never going to.
There's no one on our side, not the city.
Are we just the Fall Guys?
Well, we've already been the Fall Guys once.
I know, but in his grand scheme of things, he was found a group of 5 capable individuals, knew we would do what we needed to do, create our own trail of little destructions.
Not found, placed.
We need to make sure he can't frame us further.
Maybe we do need to talk to Tanner. As reluctant as I am to admit it.
You need to know how good a friend Tanner is to him. And if, as much as I liked the man, if we were his ticket out of the Undercity for some reason or another.
Now you're talking my language.
Look at me getting as suspicious as you lot. I suppose it's about time, but the more I think about it, the more it's horribly unlikely that we were just stumbled across the one man who wants to help us. Gives us shelter, gives us reason to trust him, takes us to his only well-known friend in the upper city. To then start doing odd jobs for him and people he sort of knows, getting our name about, our faces, and then when we come to the pinnacle, it's those five. They were the ones who started all this. He locks us up, gets himself some fame for catching the ones who were distributing flux, and finds his way onto the council.
Do you have any means of, I don't know, recording something? Some kind of way we can, if we can get him to admit and then present that to someone else. Is that something, do you have any spells for that? Are there magic items for that kind of thing?
Yes, there's a few magical items that do deal in recordings. I mean, we took one from What's-Her-Face's shop, remember? Alara's, that's what we were delivering from
That's right, yeah.
to Alara, that little speech ball she had.
Oh, God, if only Pim was here, he knows what they're called.
I mean,
that...
There's a spell. They technically could learn it.
You could.
Heard of it before. Magic Mouth?
Okay.
You heard of it, Virgil?
I have. I just didn't know if...
Well, technically, you know, in the creation of it, it requires you to speak the message. But if it's technically still a recording device...
I suppose if you infuse it into something, it is, yes.
Yeah.
But...
Let's mull all this over.
We would need to find the actual spell scroll, hopefully, otherwise spell creation itself takes a long time.
Well, sounds to me like we've got some leads.
So, who do we want to hit first, Tanner or Alara?
Wait. Who are we hitting? Just so that I can prep between now and next week, because
Tanner or Alara?
I'll create both battle maps. We're good. For any eventuality.
Yeah.
I mean, my initial thought was Alara first and then Tanner. But something tells me Tanner is just as caught up in this as we are.
I had a feeling about Tanner first as well, because he seems more well connected to everyone else. We don't know Alara enough, but his reach seems quite vast. And if he can get a message to her... I don't know, if she can get a message to him quickly or vice versa, I don't know their means and operations of communique, but...
Okay.
We go around asking the questions we're going to start asking. We're going to start creating ripples quickly.
And I think Tanner first.
I think you're right. I think we have to go in there and close his shop for him.
Just a brief intermission while we welcome everybody in from Roll Together RPG. Thank you so much for raiding.
What's up?
Welcome into the stream. We hope that you've had a wonderful stream, Roll Together, and that your epic RPG session is just as fun as this one. Thank you so much for the raid.
We are planning the demise of several key NPCs.
Yeah. Effectively, we're all talking about how we can efficiently murder many key NPCs that have been introduced in the first 12 episodes of this campaign. Is effectively where we're at. As you guys are having this discussion, Kyria.
Yes.
Do you have a certain playing card on you in your possession currently?
I do, yes.
Cool.
Always.
With it being on vibrate, you do feel a slight pulsing of the like just
you can hear it as well.
And as you pull the playing card out, it goes, hey, Bumblebee, is that you?
Yes. Hi.
Hi. Look, just to let you all know, we've arrived. Pim is being looked after right now. They're trying to induce him into a bit of a sleep so that they can.
He's okay with that, though, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Look, we're gonna try to get to the bottom of this. Speaking to the sages and the healers here, they don't think this is going to take too long.
Okay.
We should probably be back with you tomorrow at some point.
Tomorrow.
If anything changes, I'll be right in touch. All right.
Okay. Mr. the Raven, I just wanted to apologise.
You're forgiven. Anything else? I'm joking. I'm joking. He doesn't say that. I'm just kidding, Han.
I shouldn't have lied about the... I'm not very good at owning up to my problems. I like to just pretend they didn't happen. Really?
No.
Empires were built on less.
Are you saying I could build an empire?
You can build whatever you put your mind to.
Maybe that's my goal.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Done.
The Raven just kind of goes, sorry, I think the signal's going again.
Hey!
Well, I'll look after Pim. You guys do what you need to do.
Let me know when you're on your way back.
Sure. Could you ask Virgil to make some of that meat water stuff again for when I get back? That was really good.
He wants more gravy.
We don't call it that.
That's what it is. Canon.
Yeah, Cannon.
Virgil just nods and agrees to that, yeah.
He says that's fine.
Okay. You guys take care. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, good night.
I'm just applying
good
the
night.
Raven Bovril now.
Sleep well. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
Yeah, bye.
Bye. Bye.
No, you hang up. No, you hang up. Hey, hang up.
No, you hang up. Oh.
Betty buys.
So you guys all, unless there's anything any of you want to do, you guys all turn in for the night.
I'll spend just an hour before bed working with the parts that I bought from the blacksmith to try and secure my wrist crossbow.
Excellent. Tinkerer's tool check, please. So
Yes,
D20 dexterity and proficiency bonus.
It's a +5, which gives me a 13.
A 13. Okay, so you start the process. You get a few steps in, but realize at this point, if you spend any further, you have to kind of deconstruct the main holster. So you pretty much like you've got the main wristwear all assembled. You just know that for this next step, you have to effectively take the hand crossbow almost apart completely to start attaching it.
Right, yeah. Because the whole trigger mechanism's got to come out and basically reverse to the other end of it and stuff like that. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So you've got for the most part, you've got the preparation done on at least the the wristwear.
Okay, cool. I'll make a note of that.
Cool. You guys, is there anything else anybody else would like to do before you bed down for the evening?
You'll probably hear some music, like some sounds of a pan flute coming around, but very intermittently, and just like the occasional like swear word slips out, and like, oh, sorry, like resonates across the halls. As Kirio's going to write some music, but other than that, we'll go to bed.
Amazing. What kind of music are you going to write? Whoa, Dan. We'll come see you in a second.
I wasn't going ahead.
Sorry,
I just thought another monologue was coming. So I was like, no.
It initially kind of starts off as kind of the standard kind of melodic, folksy, fae-esque.
Is this an original composition?
It is going to be an original composition, yes.
Excellent.
But the more they work on it, the more you can tell that if anyone's up, can tell they're getting frustrated. The instrument, aka the pan flute, the one instrument they have, is not quite right. So they're laying down like a bass kind of melody and clearly getting some words in. You can occasionally hear singing coming from that room as well. But it's very much a work in progress.
Okay, and how are you with sheet music, or is this all going in the drawer of?
What they do is they don't know sheet music at all, but they draw little arrows and like guidelines of like what the rhythm it follows.
Like SingStar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
Okay.
they basically do it visually rather than they can't read sign music because I can't either.
Excellent.
And
Make me a performance check, please, just to see
Okay.
how well you start getting this.
This is my original
This
track,
really-
Through the Fire and Flames.
7. So
This
good.
is, this is my new song, The Slow Inevitable March to the End.
Play
That
Freebird.
is a 23.
23. Even though you are frustrated due to the instrument's lack of noise ability, and you can't
It's
really
not what I
make
want. It's not giving what I want it to give.
exactly. The comment from Lindsay was, "My pan flute, go doot."
True.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
That is what it do.
words
Super
to live by. But you do essentially get quite a lot of this this piece of music down to a point where you're happy with it before you go to bed.
Cool.
Excellent. Cool. Well, if that's everything, we'll all bed down for
Yeah, that's fine.
the evening. No, I'm joking.
No,
Go on,
come on.
Virgil. I'm joking.
Sorry, what me? Mr. fucking monologue? Okay.
Right, we're the players. We're allowed to monologue.
Yeah. It's just the DM that isn't allowed
No.
to have.
No monologuing.
Shut the fuck up. Go on.
Right, Edivir's not in the room. You can monologue all you want.
No, it's like he would have followed everyone to the bedrooms as well, sort of retiring for the evening.
Whoa.
As Kiri goes to their room to, write music, Virgil would just very briefly just sort of stop Edivir at his door and go, something you said earlier about, you said you'd experienced what I have before?
Edivir is actually dusting the top step of the staircase with crushed glass as you come up.
Of course he is.
About what? Sorry.
Well, when I was talking about my affliction, you said you had seen it before, or something along those lines.
Oh.
Before Kiri remembered about the ashtray.
Petrification, you mean?
Hmm.
Yeah. When I was, I've seen it a few times. When I was young.
In predominantly Earth Genasi?
No. It was a punishment.
Oh.
Where I come from, it's what you might call a magocracy.
Right,
Is that
okay.
the right word? I heard that word a few times. I think that's what it meant.
The magisterium?
It's run by some really, really bad magical fuckers, basically.
Right.
They subjugate anyone. They call us benigns.
Right. Because you are not arcane in nature.
Exactly. And
I've...
they subjugate everyone, which is the majority of the population, and they have several ways of punishing those who step out of line. Petrification was a favourite among the main magister of my
I see.
area. So I saw it a few times, but it was much quicker.
It is as unfortunate as it is, it will be a spell that can be used.
I'm sorry if I misled you to believe that I might have some insight into your affliction. Just
No. I wanted to follow up. I wasn't sure if you'd had friends of the elemental kind. That's all. I'm
not who started out as Elementkin, but
yeah.
I had friends who were taken that way.
Well, your distrust of arcane practitioners makes sense. So, thank you for trusting me this far.
Thank you for keep giving me reasons to.
Well, couldn't have you hating me now, could I, Eddie? You're going to warn everyone before they walk barefoot across this top step. I mean, Kiri's probably fine because the hooves will just crush it down to a fine glass, but
It's
Liana's
more-
all paw pad. That's going to just fucking cut her up.
I'll give him a knock on the door and let him know. It's more so that we can hear if anyone else is sneaking up on us. Old habits die hard. Sorry.
No, I get it. I mean, just maybe some tape or I don't know, just something over it so it's a bit softer. It still crunches, but it's just not going to shred.
That's a good idea. I've not thought about it. I've never intended it not to shred people's feet. Put it that way.
Yeah. Well,
I'll go get a towel.
Or just one of the less nice ones from the bottom drawer. You know, the floral pattern ones. I hate those.
Just grab the main tea towel that's in the kitchen. Probably quite nicely embroidered. I don't care. And I'll lay that over the glass on the top step.
It's fine. I have more. We can buy them on the stalls. They're only a gold a piece. Well, anyway, thank you, Eddie. It's just something I wanted to clear up. And
like I said before, and I feel like I should renew that commitment now in light of further information. You told me before it was just your dad. I didn't realise.
Wow.
I didn't realise you were in the same position, but I renew my commitment to help you. And your father. And your whole family, by the sounds of it.
It's a whole people's, Eddie. Or at least the ones I know. But I appreciate it, and I recommit myself to you and your cause, whatever it may be and wherever it may lead to.
That might be more of a commitment than I'd be comfortable with you making right now.
Well, you quite actively swear yourself to destroying one of the worst things to ever happen to elemental kinkind. I can do the same for a friend who is suffering something similar. Not the same, but in a position like me. So, it's done.
Sounds like it's us against the world.
The unseen servants working away in the background.
Good night, mate.
Good night, Eddie.
You guys.
And he will turn into his room. I will spend an hour looking through my advanced transmutation book, just learning a bit more about the art of it and things like that. You know, just whatever he can, and then bed.
Okay. You all bed down for the evening.
I don't like the way you said that.
You all gain the benefits of a long rest.
Oh.
Edivir.
Sure about that. Oh,
Don't like the way you said that either.
In the middle of your sleep, middle of your dream, you experience a sort of stop in a time that you are familiar with. You seem to be reliving an experience, whether it's the day that you've just had, the week up till now, but you are very much in the middle of this experience as you find yourself standing in a very familiar, dimly lit room.
Mm-hmm.
The air around you seems heavy with tension. You recognize the clothing that you are wearing as your head is currently down with your eyes pointed firmly at the ground. These are the clothes that you had to pilfer, for want of a better phrase, when you were young.
Mm-hmm.
You look to either side of yourself and see your two brothers, one on either side of you, stood shoulder to shoulder. Both, as you kind of turn to the left to your older brother, you see a stern, resilient look on their face. And to the other side, to the younger brother,
So, just to clarify,
they are both older. but the younger one of the two.
Oh, the younger one is. Oh, the younger of the two. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Sorry, not you.
I do have a younger brother. But...
Yeah. No. So the two
Sorry,
older. So it's you and the two older brothers that you spent the majority of the time dicking about with as a kid.
Yeah.
The older one has this very stern look on their face, like resilient almost, and you look towards the younger of the two older brothers, and it is just a wash, an absolute wash of worry and fear. And you three stand before a stern, cloaked figure, an individual that you'd cast from your memory a long time ago. And as you observe that, you are immediately reminded of an immediate sense of guilt and fear that washed over you in this moment as you look and see your sister walk into the room and immediately heads across to the cloaked individual in the way that she always did in times like this. However, you see that the image changes, and this wash and wave of confusion hits you as you begin to look out at the image of your sister, as you see the arm of the cloaked individual rise up and swing down to strike at your sister, and you take that step forward that you did back then, where the image in front of you of your sister and this individual once was, you are now greeted with the image of your younger self, reflected in a floor-to-ceiling high mirror. As you see this image of yourself, you hear your sister's call. You hear the pleading with this individual. Please don't hurt them. And her voice trembling with emotion as you hear the unmistakable sound of another crack. In the midst of this chaos, as you step closer to this mirror, and it's almost like you're effectively in this labyrinth of mirrors now. Every which way you go, you're greeted with your own image. And you turn, and as you turn one way, the voice of your sister crying out in pain from another, until you turn 2, 3, 4 times, until eventually you see not a reflection, but almost a window, completely transparent. And the image of your sister on both knees, clutching at the side of her face. You see, as you once did, her head turn, and a look as she looks back in the direction of you and your brothers. Her eyes filled with not only fear, but determination. Knowing full well that you and your brothers are seconds away from racing to her aid, she locks eyes with you and just shakes her head. And as you try with everything in you to move forward, with every ounce of strength you have, you take a step and reach out. And as you do, your fingers touch the transparent pane of glass in front as it shatters at the very touch of your finger pressed against it. And as this glass shatters all around, you are left in complete and utter nothingness. Just you and a vast sea of nothing at all.
This young version of Edivir just begins sort of turning and shouting, "Let her go! Let her go! It wasn't her fault, it was us!
And
Let her go!"
You do that, you bolt upright in bed.
Let her go!
And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, Chris, I had to, man. I've been
No,
waiting.
that's
I've
fine,
been waiting.
that's fine.
I've been waiting for the first comfortable night's sleep you've had in a long time, just to fuck with you. Yeah, just to mess with you. Sorry, brother. I do apologize.
He hasn't thought about his siblings in a while, so that's very fitting.
We're going to lend the session there. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Raiders, thank you for coming in and sharing what little time was left on this session. Thank you so much for the individuals who started that raid. It was amazing. We appreciate everyone sticking with us through that. That is essentially, for all the new viewers, one of our more tame sessions. You should come back next week when the regular scheduled broadcast will continue.
And in the meantime, go watch last week's episodes on YouTube if you want to see how chaotic things can get.
Yeah, exactly. But thank you very, very much. We do appreciate all of you coming and sticking with us this evening. Thank you so much. We will be back next Tuesday. Please look after yourselves until then. We love you. We will see you all next week. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Peace.